Oh,
Oh, it's going. We're good. We're good. It's live.
yeah.
Hello, Scottejaye.
I just wanted to talk all like really sad and a bit depressed because I'm drinking a can of Pepsi Max instead of a can of lager. A can of England's finest lager.
Well, cheers to. Do you call it pop or is it soda? Or is it, you guys call it cans, don't you, or something?
Just a can of drink, yeah.
Or a tin?
No. A beer is a tinny.
Tinny,
Yeah,
okay.
having a tinny. But that's that. You can't. You'd never have a Pepsi Max and refer to that as a tinny like that.
Like a fizzy tinny? I kind of like it.
Northerners call it pop. They say like, oh, a can of pop. I mean, it's just I call it a can of whatever I'm about to drink. You know, if it was lemonade, I'd say it's a can of lemonade. I don't like to confuse things, but hello everyone, by the way. What a weird way to start the podcast.
Hi.
Yeah, let's start a season of Discovery podcast talking about all the different ways you can refer to a can of soft beverage. I need to put some music on, not for the stream, but for myself. I can't concentrate in pure silence, and I know that sounds really weird. I just need to make sure it don't actually end up going through to the stream.
I'm the same way. Like in Raid, I have to have music playing. I can't have in-game sounds on. I can't have I'd prefer to just not even be in Discord either. I'm totally fine putting on some music and sitting there and raiding.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, all right. I'm just making sure that the stream can't hear it because that would be catastrophic. Right, I'm all right. So you're doing good, Go? Yeah, you had a good day, hopefully.
I'm well rested, I think. We've got Raid tonight. We've got ICC Prague, so I'm looking forward to that. Both of us have been putting videos out. Majay can't be here tonight again. He's been smashing out some videos too. So it's just going to be the two of us tonight, I think, yeah?
Yeah, just me and you. I mean, we've not got that much. We just want to finish off yesterday's episode, so for any of you that watched, we started talking about runes. I believe we only done Mage and Druid. So we've got all the rest. Right. So we've got all the rest of the classes to get through, and if we've got anything else that we want to talk about that sort of we've found out, I know it's only been 24 hours, but like I've been looking at a lot of different things and looked more into Crix's interview. There were some things, from that we can talk about. Yeah, and we'll just try and keep this one a bit short and sweet. I reckon, like 2 hours, and we're gone. I mean, is that short and sweet? I don't know.
An actual 2 hours. Yeah, no, not a 1 hour meme and then we go for 5. No, probably an actual 2 hour show tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then we've got a raid afterwards, so we'd like a little break between the podcast and that. Which you can. What I assume you're going to stream the raid
at kick.com/classicgo. Yes, I'm going to be listening to some music tonight, which I can't listen to on YouTube. So I'm in a chill mood tonight, man. I want to vibe out. I want to have a drink with the boys and get some raiding done.
And if his stream is the music is too bad for you, then you can see it with good music at kick.com/Scottejaye.
I get compliments on how much better my music is than yours all the time. So if you're tired of Scotty's music and you want to come hang out,
I have the same 10 songs on repeat, and I stream for 10 hours.
Yeah, I'm a DJ. I take requests. So.
Oh well, maybe Goes is the place to go and hang out then, but I'll be hammered as well, so it's going to be a fun raid. Maybe me and Go stop by on each other's stream while we're raiding tonight.
Ah, yeah. We'll do some post-fight breakdowns in between pools.
Oh, that won't take long. We'll literally go, well, that was shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that again.
I got linked a clip last night of you talking about how shit my damage was on something.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke. I wanted it to get clipped out of context.
It got clipped out.
And I bet it was Nest who clipped it.
That's a good guess. You would be correct.
I can always rely on Nest. But yeah, I can't remember what it was. Festigar. I think you died or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Right, anyway, so there's a couple of good things to tell you if you haven't seen it already. I'll put a link in chat, and I'm sure you've probably seen it already, Go, but Wowhead have now got the talent calculators up to date with the runes. Yeah, and it's really good as well. I like the way, let me put a link in somewhere. Hang on, why is it on subscriber only mode in chat? Oh, subscriber, you got to be a subscriber for 20 minutes. All right, okay. It's not classing me as a subscriber when it's my channel. I mean, hello. And hello again, everyone, for those of you who just joined. We are going to actually start getting cracking with some actual content in a sec. But thought I'd just, we'll give you all a minute to get in here so you don't miss any of this high-octane season of Discovery talk. How are you feeling about it still, Ghost? I mean, I know it's only been a day, but...
I'm more pumped. Every day, I'm watching more and more videos. I'm listening to more and more podcasts. Shout out Counting on the Classic. I've been listening to theirs today, and yeah, it's just more and more information. It's just getting me more and more hype.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. And as I say, I've been sat today looking at... well, I mean, can I actually put this on screen? Yeah, I've been sat today looking at the talent calculators and looking at where I'm going to, on each of my classes, how I'm going to spec, exactly how I'm going to spec and what runes I'm going to use for what situation. And I mean, you can do some pretty crazy things. I mean, the one I'm really disappointed with still is Druid. Because I love Druid.
Yeah.
But I still can't get too excited, especially about Feral. I mean, I don't know how you feel about Boomy, but...
Boomy's kind of lacking some stuff. I'm not looking forward to 25, but I am looking forward to 40 because we get Boomy spec, like we can actually shift into Moonkin. We get Hurricane. We finally get our AoE. So I'm looking forward to level 40 already.
Yeah, so 25. I mean, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Druid. I don't feel that way about Paladin. Like, I'm excited for 25 already, and I've been looking today like the absolute sad act that I am. Which, by the way, I know I plugged it yesterday, but I'm going to plug it again. I am going to be putting members-only videos out starting tomorrow, looking at BIS gear for all of the classes. So I've started looking at it today. Don't think you're going to get anything polished. Like, I'm not going to be doing mass amounts of editing. It's going to be very much me sat like this, looking at the spec, looking at the gear, and just my thoughts on it. But it's not going to be like a proper video that that everyone gets. Like, it's going to be very raw. Yeah, raw. It's going to be more like a members only stream that's recorded than anything else. But I've started doing it today, and I was looking at Paladin gear and what you can actually get at level 25, and it is bonkers. Like, seriously, like, there is some gear that you can get at level 25, things like trip runner dungarees. So trying to get Gnome Ragon done to be able to get Trip Runner Dungarees. And you can actually get, without even thinking about Black Fathom Deeps, you can get like near enough full blue every slot at level 25 with a good weapon. And it's not Verrigan's Fist.
See, I looked up some Boomy stuff too, and a lot of our stuff is BOE, which hurts. It feels bad. So I'm hoping that they're adding enough loot to the PvP vendor and from the raid even. So like pre-BIS, I might not get that great of gear. I'm more looking forward to what's going to drop in the BFD raid.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a really good point, even though it weren't a point you were trying to make. But when you say most of it's BOE, I've not actually even thought about the prospect of we're going to be level 25 trying to make gold.
Yeah.
And also professions. So, like, how high can you actually get them? At 25, I'm sure you can get them to 225, can't you? Or no, because 35, I feel like 35 you can max them.
That feels right, yeah.
Someone can confirm in chat. It's been a long time since I played, on vanilla. But I feel like at level 25 you could be 225, or is it 35 where you'd be 225? Because that also opens a lot of possibilities, especially, obviously, for engineering. But then you've got
engineering helms, huge.
You got to go around mining, and you're gonna have to, if you want to get to that, you're gonna have to be mining in zones that you shouldn't really be mining in. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna need some help, which is gonna be sick. 25 should be 225. Yeah. Okay. Oh, 20 is 225. Oh, perfect. Okay. So yeah, you'll be able to get 225 in your professions. And yeah, getting fishing to 225. I mean, is it weird that I know we're going to talk about the classes, but is it weird I'm excited about that? Like, I'm going to want a level to, level worker to 225, engineers to 225, get all of the professions done. So then when it goes up to level 40, boom, you can get them all maxed.
Oh, yeah. And you had me thinking, because I like to speculate, and I'm like, should they add extra nodes or extra? I don't know,
hang on, hang on.
Level nodes.
I like to do something that rhymes with speculate. Carry on.
Okay. What if the nodes that were in Ashenvale were something special, where they either dropped more ore or extra herbs, or there were titanium nodes or something in Ashenvale, and you could help level up to 225, but it'd be so PvP contested that you'd actually be fighting over these nodes like constantly to try to get them.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to be fighting over those nodes in Ashenvale to try and get them anyway. No matter what they are. But
I mean, everybody's just going to clear out of there if they want to farm.
Yeah.
But it'd be sweet.
What professions are you going to do as a boomy?
I never went NG back in Classic. I wasn't like trying to be a big pumper. So, I mean, definitely NG. I don't know what other one would be like good. I guess alchemy, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do mining engineering the first time through, then drop mining, and then on my second character go like mining herbalism, and then, you know, somehow, I don't know, I need to think about that. I've not thought about professions. Gracie, thank you for becoming a member. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna actually have to have a proper look at exactly what I could get at 25 from each of them. That's next week's episodes.
There we go.
BIS professions for each class for level 25. Anyway, right. So, have you got anything else you want to say, and we can start looking at some runes?
I just want to clarify, and we might even touch on it earlier because it's from Crix's interview with the devs. That Majay and I yesterday we were kind of confused on how many runes are going to be available at 25. We were both thinking that there was going to be more, and like 8 additional ones that we could get to. And I rewatched the interview, and they said these are the runes for level 25. There's additional later, but this is all we're getting for now.
Yeah, you could have just said I was right. I don't know why you needed to do all that long speech.
Well, it took a lot of extra words to throw in there just so I didn't have to say that. Yeah,
that's fair. I appreciate that. Let me get up that. Let's do that first before we get onto the classes. Let's see if there was any big things that need to be spoke about, because I've recorded a video today that I'm hoping to get edited tomorrow, but there were some really good little bits in there. So a couple of the things that I found really interesting. So if we was to just touch on hardcore, should I put this on the screen? Put it on the screen. I feel like that's a really professional podcasty thing to do. Would be to
a visual with the audio. Look at you.
Yeah, let's do that. Although I mean that's hardly a visual. It don't even work. There we go. So the highlights we've got. I'm not bothered about Wrath or Kata. This is not the place for it. But if you want to talk about that at some point, if we run out of things to go, talk about, we can talk about Wrath and Kata. I mean, I suppose I should touch on the fact that Ruby Sanctum. We already said that yesterday, didn't we? Early 2024, and the ICC buff I predict is going to be in 2 weeks. There you go, done.
Yeah.
Hardcore. So the solo self-found that they're putting in, you can turn it off, but you can't turn it back on. I thought that was quite interesting. So if you've done like self-found, and then you got to a point where you was like, do you know what? I really don't like this. I want to use the auction house. Then you can turn it off. But then you can't go back. I feel like once you've made that decision on the character creation screen, you should be stuck with it. Do you know what I mean? I would have had it. There's a self-found mode, and you get like 10 different confirmation screens. It says, are you sure you want to create your character as a self-found character? You put yes, and it goes, are you really sure you want to create your character as a self-found character? You go yes, and then you have to sign a disclaimer to say that you're not going to complain.
Mail it in with a blood sample.
Yeah, and then you can log in. Like that's, I don't know. I think being able to turn it off. No,
I think you should be able to turn it off. Like, because it could be
Casual.
somebody's first time even playing hardcore or WoW in general, and they might not know what it's like to be able to trade and do all this stuff. So they might get to some point and be like, man, it sure would be nice if I could get traded this so I could craft this thing for my profession. So I like that you can turn it off. I think they had that in Season of Mastery with the Soul of Iron stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, look, I knew everybody would actually like the fact that you can turn it off. And I do say in the video that's going out tomorrow that I think it's a good idea. But that ain't that video. This is live, and I think pussies.
Yeah, go again, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I like the fact that they've also said that if you make it to 60 as a self-found character, you get a buff badge. So a bit like the ears for doing Mac Garra, where it's purely cosmetic, but it shows that you're a boss. You know, that's quite cool. I mean, I feel like we've got all these versions of the game, and I know like Blizzard try and keep it all separate, but I would be more inclined, and I even spoke to Agrand about this months back, because I said, like, I personally am not a massive fan of vanilla leveling the way it is and hardcore and all that. You know, I'd done it all during TBC, you know, it's not new to me, but I just can't be bothered. It's too much effort. But if there was a title or an achievement that carried over into, you know, into Wrath and then into Kata and, you know, whatever, I would be more inclined to do it. And Blizzard actually said, like Agron said, they wouldn't want it where it feels like you're forced to go and do it to go and get that achievement, even if you don't want to do it. But I think, like, achievements are not really forced, are they? That's like saying, well, they should take the insane out of the game because everyone's forced to go and grind the insane. You're not forced to go and grind the insane, but if you want to show off the fact that you have, then you do it. You know, I'd love if they added an actual achievement with a title that you get on your Wrath account or even your Rito account, like across all of them. You know, so the games do just feel a little bit connected, even though they're not.
Yeah, or even just like a mount. You got to ride on a hardcore mount in Wrath because you hit level 60 in Era. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. Where it is, it's just cosmetic. It's not giving you any player power or anything. You know, it's purely just look what I've done. Or even the buff, even the little buff the buff badge that you've got on, you know, on the hardcore realms. If you actually ended up with that, a bit like Precious's, you know, ribbon, like the best in show for wearing the shirt, a bit like that. But I don't know. But anyway, it's still cool that you get a little buff badge if you complete self-found. And currently, no plans for a fresh hardcore server. I mean, it's very early for there to be a fresh hardcore server. Yeah. But my opinion. Then Season of Discovery. So, yeah, obviously some of this we just already know. Like Phase 1, I'll have 12 runes per class. We're going to go through all those runes tonight, excluding Mage and Druid, because we've already done it. Runes will be bound to that. So, I didn't really get that bit. So, runes will be bound to the item slot they're currently in. Glove runes will only work on gloves. I mean,
I guess so. You can't take a glove rune and put it on your legs?
Yeah, but surely that's obvious.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
As long as I'm not,
weird.
yeah, it's just, as long as I'm not reading that wrong. Like that is actually what it means. Like, yeah, you can't put glove runes on your nice pair of pants that you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And yes, there's no Wrath era mega. No, currently there's going to be no Wrath era. Oh, I should actually put Gracie joining as a member on the screen, shouldn't I? Thank you. Thank you again.
I hit it.
Oh, did you?
It didn't work for me. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I mean, I saw it up there. Maybe it wasn't.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't. Ignore me. It was probably my fault. Well, so there'll be. This is what I want to talk about. So there'll be hundreds of discoveries because each rune needs to be able to be found no matter which continent or starting zone you're in. So the same rune might not be discovered in the same way for a gnome mage compared to an undead mage. So this is
it's unexciting for me as a druid because we have one horde druid, we have one alliance druid. So like, I feel left out on this. I was really feeling left out.
Yeah. My view on it is more it would, and I say this in the video that's coming, it would be brutal, and I know it would be brutal. But you know, let's say there was. If we was just, let's have a look. Look, let's say we was a druid and we wanted to get our wild strikes, and let's say wild strikes is available at level 10. You know, let's say you can get that at level 10, and it's, you know, for night elves, it's in Ashenval. You know, it's at the not Ashenval, Astronar. You know, the first Orbadine, that area when you first get off the boat. So let's say it's there. I would have it. It's there for all druids, no matter what. Even if you're Tauren, yeah, it don't matter whether you're Tauren, whether you're night elf. If you're a mage and they decide to put the glyph of rune of regeneration in the Barrens, then yeah, sorry, if you're a level 10 gnome mage, have fun. have enjoy that run. You get over there, because do you remember how painful it was when you was a warlock, and you was an alliance warlock and you had to go to the Barrens for part of your succubus quest, you know, at level 20. Like, that was bad enough. Imagine having to get there at level 10. Level 10. I would have had them all unique, completely unique. So night elves are having to go to Goldshire. You know, Taurens are having to go to Brill. Make the world feel alive, looking at all the people dead running everywhere.
It'd be cool if they also had alliance only discoveries, rune or not, in those same like horde zones and vice versa. So it's like, yeah, you had to go over to get this because it's only found in one spot for both factions. But there's also, you can get stuff that the other faction can't get there too. Yeah,
that makes sense. It sounds to me like, you know, basically, I'm assuming that these are mostly being referred to the glove runes. You know, it's going to be like the glove rune for Crusader Strike. You know, you're going to be able to get it. Well, that's just human and dwarf, but you're going to be able to get it in the human starting area at level 2. You're going to be able to get it in the dwarf starting area at level 2. But then when you get Divine Storm, you know, I would assume that that's going to be like a level 10 rune. You'll be able to get that in Westfall, and you'll be able to get it in like Dummoda or you know what I mean. It's going to be the next zone for that race. But I wonder if you can still get it in the other. You know, so if I was a dwarf, the first thing I'd do is run to Ironforge and get on the Deep Run tram and go to Stormwind. That is what I would do, because I like leveling in Elwyn Forest. When I get to 10, because I'm a dwarf, will that unlock for Divine Storm, wherever this rune is? You know, will I be able to get it, or is it human only? You know, is there options to where they can get it, or are they race restricted? Does that make sense, what I'm trying to put across?
A little bit. But I'm still, I only have one option as a druid, so I don't care.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to you. But I would, if I was a developer and I knew you was playing Alliance, I'd put it over in the Horde starting zone. It'd be in Thunderbluff. In Thunderbluff, literally inside Thunderbluff in the inn. You've got to go and try and get it. That's what I would do. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, and I just hope that, like, I want to see everybody running around in the same zones trying to get these runes. You know, you're going to see gnomes, night elves, dwarves, humans, are all literally running around trying to find their rune in Moonbrook. I mean, there's got to be a rune hidden somewhere outside Deadmines. You know, it would just make sense. But yeah, it'll just suck if all the races are being split up, going to their own places, getting runes. But my opinion.
I was thinking yesterday, and even more now with this, how I couldn't even be bothered to do the fish form.
Aquatic
the manatee form. And it required you to go to 2 different places to get like half of a pendant, join it together.
Yeah.
So like, and that was, you had to go across the world to get it. So, I mean, this sounds more exciting, this idea, this concept, and the rewards from it. But I've got that like sour taste in my mouth from having to go too far across the map, no mount travel form, but...
I've always been the same. It's like, you know, if I leveled a shaman, water totem and air totem, they'll wait. Yeah, if I leveled a warlock, there'll be all of the pets other than the Voidwalker. Literally, don't need them. They can wait. And yeah, as a druid, I've done that aquatic form quest so many times I'd normally hit 60 before I got it. So I don't need it. I can live without it.
Last time I did it, that's when I got it. I hit 60 and I went back and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't think these runes are going to be quite as optional, to be fair. I think some of these are just going to be, it don't matter where you've got to go, you're going to go. Was there anything else? Some classes might have the same discovery but get different runes. So 2 healers might solve the same puzzle but receive different rewards. So, yeah, I mean, we spoke about that briefly last night as well, didn't we? I said, I'd like them all to be unique, but it does kind of make sense that, let's say there was I think we had even a specific example that you gave with like an NPC that might need healing up. So you might need a couple of healers to heal it.
Oh yeah, a friend said something about there might be a dead body on the ground or something, and you might need a couple healers or like a group to be able to finish the quest. Whether it's like you have a tank and then you need 2 healers to heal the tank or something like that, so the tank doesn't die. But yeah, a couple group runes might be okay. Hopefully, I don't really have friends, Scotty. If you're playing on EU and I'm on NA or something, then I'm going to have to try to solo these things.
I'm going to be soloing them as well, but fortunately I'm going to be a rep paladin, so that should that'll be easy. But that does make sense, If there's runes that you're going to get as a group, you can't expect people to just like go and do a hard quest chain or a hard group, It could be in a cave, an elite in a cave where only 1 out of the 5 people are going to get the rune. Otherwise, you're only going to get, let's say it was a mage rune, you're only going to get mages that want to go. So it does that does make sense. The more I think about it, like the group runes and even runes in instances, that should be for a different rune for each class.
You skipped over that they're going to be soulbound. So runes are soulbound. You can't post them in the auction house. You can't trade them to yourself. If you created another alt, they're not going to be account bound or nothing like that. So every tune you make, you're going to have to farm these runes.
Yeah. I mean, that could be something they change in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, they work the same as glyphs in Kata. Ultimately, that's what it is. Apart from their soulbound glyphs. Once you learn them, once you find them and you learn them once, then your character's got them forever. And you can change them whenever you want. But yeah, it would be interesting to see that later on down the line, if you was for some reason to start a second paladin, whether you would just have all the runes that you've already discovered, but then at the same time, probably ruin it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, like what if they had an extra profession, a brand new profession? So after the level band gets increased, then this profession can then use herbs, use whatever, and craft a BOE version of the rune.
Like a scribe.
Yeah.
It's
like
a runesmith.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. It could use herbs and it can use mining node stuff all in one.
Or they just add archaeology in it. You can unlock runes through archaeology. I mean, that was kind of what Path of the Titans was going to be, but anyway. Okay, an interesting one is the leveling speed. It will remain unchanged, which, I've got to be honest, surprised me a little bit. And probably not for the reason you're expecting. Like, because it's only getting to 25, I actually thought they'd slow it down a little bit. I know seasonal servers, you would expect more XP and things to be faster. But I thought they might have done something to slow the 1 to 25 down a bit, because we're all, a lot of us, we're going to be 25 on day 1.
It still takes a long time. Like, you can't get 1 to 10 in an hour. Like, it takes 2 hours at least for the most people to just get to level 10, and then it slows down from there. So, if anything, I would say that they could have used a little bit of a bump of XP, even to start off with.
Really,
instead
I'm
of classic
surprised.
era XP. Yeah, let it be the Wrath speed or something.
Yeah, that shocks me. See, I was going the complete opposite way. I genuinely was expecting them to not even say anything, but just slow it down by 25% or something. Because we are literally going to get to max level, even if it's slow. Or let's say you're a really slow leveler. You could still get to 25 in 3 days, surely.
Oh, 3 days? For me, I probably could, yeah. But I think it's still going to take 20 hours for me, probably.
Yeah, but we won't sleep. We'll just do it 20 hours straight.
Yeah.
I will be. I won't be sleeping till 25. So, and then I'll probably sleep, and then I'll literally instantly start the next character when I wake up and do it again.
Oh, I just realized it's launching on a Thursday again. Another Thursday release. Give it to me on Tuesdays.
Oh god, that means it's going to be Thursday at 11 p.m. my time again, don't it?
Yeah.
Why? Why do they do it? I want it like midday. Midday my time. That's what I want. Streamers
Yeah,
are not... Yeah, right. It's streamers are not average gamers. We're terrible gamers. You're absolutely right.
I'm gonna have to take that Friday off or something and stay up all night and have the weekend.
Yeah, and Gracie, the energy regen is just vanilla. Everything outside of the new Rune abilities is vanilla. The whole playstyle, the class, all the talents are not changing. Yeah, like everything is vanilla, including energy regen, which, yeah. But I say that, you never know. You know what a rune might do further down the line. The world's their oyster.
They could give you loads of extra buffs. You find a rune and you get an hour buff that gave you Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer or something.
I didn't think about that. I mean, it would be interesting actually if you did get a mini buff when you find a rune. You know, you got like a discovery buff for an hour that increased attack power and spell power and whatever. So it's like, well done, you found a rune. Here's a little buff to help you on your way while you're leveling as well. No, I think that's a really good idea. Like, genuinely, I think that's a really good idea.
Or even like a server announcement, like so-and-so discovered X rune first, you know?
Oh, yeah, like server first rune discoveries.
Yeah.
That again, but then that wouldn't be fair because that person would literally get bombarded with whispers. Where is it, bro? Where is it, bro?
Where's it at?
Bro, where do I get it? Like that would be terrible, actually. Can you imagine?
I would love it though if I did it and all of a sudden my whisper inbox is just flooded with 1,000 comments.
You'll be screenshotting it. You'll be screenshotting it, sending it to me and say, "Scott, he told you I got friends. You didn't believe me." But no, anyway, because I want to rip through these and I want to go and grab a beer.
Yeah.
So leveling speed 1 to 25 is normal. So yeah, okay, maybe I am being a little bit optimistic on how long that exactly is going to take because it's been a while since I've done vanilla leveling 1 to 25. But it's still, you know, you're not going to be slaving away for weeks to get to 25. You'll do it in a few days, and you're good to start gearing up. And you're going to be gearing up along the way anyway. You know, there's going to be, you know, I want to be doing things like, you know, Wailing Caverns, Dead Mines, and all of that from sort of 17 onwards to start getting decent gear, you know, along the way. And I don't want to skip a dungeon, and I would recommend that to everybody, to be fair. You do not want to skip dungeons on the way up because I can guarantee there's going to be runes in them. You know, like 100% they will have runes in them. But I'm just hoping they do it in a bit of an interesting way, like an extra like escort quest or something. You know, so you do Dead Mines, and then you've got to now escort, I don't know, a Murloc somewhere, and add spawn or something. You know, like, yeah, make it a bit more interesting than, oh, we've just hid a chest in here. Good job, go and get it.
Yeah, even Dead Mines, that last ship area, most people just streamline it. They might even skip Cookie. But yeah, if they had runes placed throughout that room, even on the little side islands, and you had to actually explore the dungeon even more, that'd be cool.
I hope there's fake runes. You know, where you see something and you're like, oh my god, I found a rune. Found a rune, boys, check this out. And then you open the chest and it's just got, like, I don't know, a little love letter in it that says LOL. Yeah, like, if there was fake ones around as well, that'd be sick.
Yeah. It would have a grey vendor item in it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome. And I wouldn't put it past them to do that. But I like what Deli just said. So server message, like, this rune has been found. Like, you haven't got to say the name, but then it gives a hint. So it would say, you know, the server's first Divine Storm glyph has been found in Ashenval. You know, that's it. That's all it says. So it don't say who found it or, you know, where exactly it was found, but it does, yeah, like, point you towards a zone. I like that. I think that might be a bit complicated to do, but still good.
All right, what else do we have on these notes here? We got all tanks will be competitive, including Warlock, Shaman, and Rogue. They will excel at different things, but all will be able to main tank. Yeah, and I know people were having questions of, is a Warlock just going to be an off tank? Or a Shaman's just going to be off tank? And Warrior, Pally are still going to main tank and all that stuff. But yeah, if they can main tank it, go for it.
I think Paladin's going to be an insane tank in Season of Discovery. I mean, I know I'm biased and I'm saying that because I'm a Pally main, but I really think they're going to be strong. I think it's, when you're saying all tanks are going to be, like, they'll all be competitive, I think that's a very bold statement to make when, you know, they've put the game out now for 20 years and have never been able to balance tanks in any expansion. Why would they start now? You know, let's be honest, like, that's not me having a dig. I'm being serious, you know. The tanks they weren't balanced in TBC. They weren't balanced in Vanilla. They're not balanced now in Wrath. They're not balanced in Kata, far from it. Mop, you know, it's like, yeah, they can all tank, but I wouldn't say that you would not really ideally want to take 2 Druid tanks, would you, to ICC?
Oh, no.
You know, there's this... You wouldn't really even want to take 2 Blood DKs. I mean, they do excel at different things, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, I don't think the tanks are going to be balanced. I think we'll very quickly find that one of them is going to be insane. And it might be the Warlock. It might be the Rogue. You know, I don't know which one it's going to be, but it'll get to the point where it's like, man, like, everyone's going to be using the same main tank because we know it's that strong. It could be Paladin, could be Warlock, could be whatever. But we'll work out which one's the best, and that's all people will use.
I'm guessing that they have tuned certain fights to make sure that Warlock is going to be the best tank for that fight. In BFD, for at least. And the same thing with Rogue. They probably made it to where Rogue is just going to be the best tank. Sure, you can tank it with whatever else, a Warrior, whatever you want, Shaman. But somehow I'm really thinking that they've thought through this for a long time, like that they've probably thought about something like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what Cal has just said, every class can maintain some things. Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, but it's like technically a Paladin in Vanilla can tank some things, but everyone still runs Fury Prot Warriors. You know, it's like in Wrath, you know, you've got all of these. The vast majority of guilds don't even want to raid without a Prot Paladin. You know, it's like, I know what we are like as a community of players. We'll always, when we start raiding properly at level 60, I just think we'll see the same tank combo in like the vast majority of cases. Because that's just what we do.
Hopefully not.
Oh, yeah, hopefully not.
I'm trying to be positive.
Hopefully not. But, you know, it's just I know how it's going to go, not even just tank-wise, you know, everything. You know, we'll be stacking whatever the strongest healers are. You know, if that turns out to be mages, we'll be stacking mages. If, you know, the DPS the strongest turns out to be lone wolf hunters, you'll see raids stacked with lone wolf hunters. I mean, it's happened since 2004. It ain't going to stop now, is it?
Oh, no.
But, what was the next one?
Mobs in the outdoor world will have increased damage so that you will have to think about how many mobs you engage at once. I thought that they said that it was going to be tuned. Like, that they would make a tune... what is it? They would tune it up if needed, but I didn't know if it was going to start that way.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I say in tomorrow's video. Exactly that. Because we've gone from, like, 2 interviews on the same day, or definitely within 24 hours, and in one, they're saying, oh, you know, we'll make adjustments if we need to. And then to this one, them almost saying, well, no, we are making the mobs in the outdoor world harder. I agree with it. They should, because we're going to be that much stronger. You know, we're going to be very, very strong. So thanks for the sub over on Kick, Cal. Thank you, mate. Thank you. We're going to be very strong, so it makes sense that the mobs are harder, because we want it to feel difficult. We don't want it to feel like retail. And that's one thing that worries me. We're going to have loads of cool abilities, but if you just run in and press Crusader Strike and it dies before you get to use any of your other abilities, what's the point?
I mean, at least the level range 1 through 10 probably is not going to be changed. I guess they did say you start getting a rune at level 2, at least the quest to get the rune, but maybe you don't actually get it until level 10. So if they tune up the mobs in, say, Duratar or Mulgore, then that could be a little rough.
Now, it looks to me, I'm not saying this is fact, obviously, but it looks to me like at level 2 you get a quest to get your main ability, which is your glove rune. That's how I'm reading into it all. So yeah, a paladin will get Crusader Strike at level 2. You would get Sunfire at level 2.
Oh, hopefully my my mana free Wrath one.
Yeah, no, you won't get that.
Fury of Stormforge. Yeah,
I think it's
so bad.
I think it's going to be a glove rune that everyone gets more or less straight away. Which, that's cool. That's what I'm expecting anyway. Again, I could be wrong. We're all having to speculate to a certain degree, And I'm just going by screenshots that we saw at BlizzCon, and the quest was there, and Agron said you'll get it at level 2, and the quest reward on that screenshot was Crusader Strike. I'm thinking that sets you up as a rep pally. Do you get a choice of the 3 maybe, so you could get one of the 3 glove runes? I don't know. As I say, we just need to speculate a little bit. Cal said, me and Law Buddy are making rune location predictions. Clues count, and it's been a ton of fun. I've been doing the same with someone, actually.
Just running around and like, oh yeah, that looks like it'd be a good spot for a rune.
Yeah, we've got a list of places that we're expecting runes to be, and I mean, we could be wrong, obviously, but yeah, it's been fun just talking about it. This is all I've been literally living and breathing Season of Discovery, and we've got practically no information. None of us really know what we're talking about, and that's what's making it fun. I could sit here and talk about Kata, but I know everything about Kata. That's boring. I want to talk about something I don't know anything about. It's much more fun. Anyway, you do the next one. I'm going to just grab a beer.
All right, yeah. They were expecting to make some changes to level 60 raids, but it is still too soon to say what those changes would be. I'm wondering, I think somewhere else too, they mentioned that all the raids might not come out in the same order. We could get AQ40 first, for example. We could get multiple raids at the same time. Maybe ZG comes out at the start, like the 20-man raids first. I don't know what they're going to change to it. And we talked yesterday, and I saw a lot of comments on the stream from yesterday. Some that disagreed, but a lot that agreed that 40 is just too many people for level 60 raids.
I had loads of DMs on Discord after last night's podcast, and I replied to, I'd say 90% of you. So any of you that I didn't reply to, it was because you didn't really leave it as an open-ended question. It just came across more as a statement. But a lot of people was like, man, we need to make noise about it. It shouldn't be 40-man raids. I didn't get a single person DM me saying, no, we need 40-man raiding. Loads of people was just like angry at the thought of it being 40-man. I'm not angry at the thought of it being 40-man. I just think it would be better if it wasn't. But that's just my opinion. There's some diehard 40-man raid lovers out there, which, each their own.
And it makes it more accessible, which is why they said that they had the BFD raid only 10-player. So, yeah, if they want it to still be accessible at endgame, then having 40 people to try to get together is just too much.
Well, I think... yeah, right. Yeah, this is part 2, mate. Part 2. I think with the whole changes to raids, though, that they said in another interview, I believe it was Wowhead's interview, that they'd consider using like the Season of Mastery changes to the raids, where the bosses had extra mechanics, bit more health, bit more damage. I don't think that's going to be enough. Like if you imagine them 40-man and they was exactly the same as they are. Like, when we just look at the runes that we're getting by level 25, I think we're going to have bonkers level of power when we're level 60.
Yeah, I made a guild, a level 60 guild in Wrath, and we went through and we could have 5-manned ZG. A 20-player raid in Classic, we could 5-man it. Molten Core, we were 10 to 12-manning it. So it's just like... try to keep it 40, it'd have to get tuned so much.
And was that in only level 60 gear you're talking as well?
That was level 60. Well, no, that was not level 60 gear too. I take that back. We had access to everything. Heirlooms, TBC gear from questing or whatever from ramparts.
Okay, so that's a
Gems,
very
yeah.
different power spike just from the early TBC gear. But still, I mean, the point still stands. You were still level 60.
And just smashing through it, yeah. And we had DKs too.
Jeez.
But even if we doubled that,
way to make it realistic.
Yeah, we 20-manned Molten Core. Even saying that at level 60 it would be like, yeah, damn, that's you cut the raid size in half.
Yeah. I mean, I think 25-man would be perfect. Don't even worry about tuning it for 10-man. You know, have some 10-man raids. But, like, they don't have to be the same. Like, you don't have to have 10-man Molten Core and 25-man Molten Core. Have all the 40-man raids as 25 and have all the 20-man raids as 10. So Zul'Gurub and AQ20 would just be 10-man raids. Everything else, 25. Boom, done. Mic drop. Ending the stream.
Well, they could, hear me out, if they wanted a 40-man raid, it would have to be a brand new raid. If they released like a on Kahet or like a Nerubian raid or something like that, that's going to have so much hype behind it. I think you could justify having that one be like tuned to 40.
Yeah, brand new raid.
The old ones that we all know and love, they're solved, right?
Yeah, the only thing I would say with that is that makes the transition into that very awkward for guilds. I agree with you. I mean, that would be cool if they released a brand new 40-man raid right at the end of it or something, but you've been managing, like, the majority of guilds, like ours, you know, we'll only be running, if it's 25-man, we'll be running a 25-man guild, which all consist of maybe a 28-man roster. You know, that's it. So then if they release a 40-man raid, it's like, we need lots of people. You know, well, I mean, they need to stick to the same raid sizes across the whole thing, would be my opinion. But I'm saying that as someone who runs a guild, you know.
If you had to, say your guild size was 20, the raids were all 20 men, and then they dropped a 40-man raid, you're just doubling your raid. Like, you just go with a buddy guild and be like, all right, this week we're running with this guild, and we're just going to go in there and smash it together. And then you're meeting new people, which Blizzard loves to get us to do.
Thanks, everyone, for coming. I can't talk to this clown. It was a really good podcast up until that statement that he just made.
I'm trying to make
what
friends,
makes you
guys.
think I want to talk to people? I do my best to not talk to anyone. That is literally what I do. This is about as much as I want to have a conversation with someone. Is one person, just me and you, and loads of people just talking at me, where I don't need to reply.
All right, next point. Where were we at here?
Phases will be rolled out, that
phases. Yeah, phases will be rolled out on a longer than a month, but shorter than a few months cadence. They are keeping it purposely vague to be able to gauge the timing based on the player base's opinions. Which, okay, kind of cool. I like a heads up, but I can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, so again, I'm sorry. It's only because obviously I've been thinking about all of this today that like I've got loads of points to constantly make. With how I think they should do it with the cadence of each phase is actually it starts short and it gets longer and longer and longer because there's going to be more content that's accessible. So 25 should last, let's say, eight weeks. Ish. Let's just say 8 weeks. Whereas then the second band, when you're at level 40, should last maybe 14, 15 weeks. Then the next one lasts 17, 18 weeks. You know, it just gets a bit longer each time because if you think about it, getting to 25, I've already said, takes a few days. Most of us are probably going to have a couple of characters minimum. You know, there's going to be sad acts that, like me, that really do want everything at 25 before the second phase comes out, but whether I do that or not, we'll see. But, you know, like you said, the leveling gets longer and longer and longer. So, well, like, getting to 25 on a couple of characters, that's not going to be too bad. You're going to get them geared up, do their professions, all of that. So it's not got to take that long. But then when you've got to get those characters from 25 to 40 and then do all that again, and you've now got access to a lot more dungeons, you know, then that needs to last a bit longer up until the point where then you reach 60, and obviously then that just goes till the end. But, yeah, I would have it just gradually get slower and slower as time goes on.
Yeah, I can deal with that. I like that because I like getting BIS. So a fast, short phase one, if I can't, well, maybe there's only 2 or 3 items that I can get in PFD. that would be my new BIS. Hopefully it's not a full set of gear that I need to try to grind out. That would stress me out. But I'm wondering, are they going to launch it and then have BFD closed for the first week? Like, we have to wait until December
I don't
8th
think
or whatever
so.
the following Tuesday is? Or can we actually just rush and get to BFD night 1 if we push fast enough?
Yeah, I think you could go straight to it. I'd be surprised if they had BFD closed. It's a level up raid. It's not a real raid, you know. It would be daft if they had it closed, quite honestly, because that's going to be exciting, getting your first 10 rush to 25 and then getting in there, and, you know, it would take away from the experience if it was closed on launch. Or I think it would anyway. Because can you imagine how tired you're going to be when you eventually hit 25 and you've had barely any sleep, and then it's like, oh man, we need to now go do BFD. It'd be awesome. But yeah.
I think I can see the last one, as long as you have it all shown on there and you don't have to scroll down anymore. So not all new dungeon turned raids will necessarily be 10-man. They are still playing around with different ideas. Not all done. Let me.
So they could do
that one.
So they could.
Yeah.
So they could do like 15-man. You know, when we're level 40, it could be Scarlet Monastery and it's 40-man, or it could be 20-man, or it could be 15, or what you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not that. That's how I read it anyway. Is that it doesn't, just because BFD is 10-man, it doesn't mean that every, you know, future level up raid has got to be 10-man.
Oh yeah, so like they could even go down to 5-man raid. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that, because then that's just a dungeon, right? It's not a 5-man raid. If it's a raid tuned for 5 people, it's a dungeon. Iron Lion, Blizzard is aware that 99% of players have jobs and families. Even 8 weeks may be too long. Really?
Too long.
You mean the other way around? It might be too short.
I was going to say the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think 8 weeks, even if you've got family, jobs, you know, whatever. You know, I mean, I think you do actually think that all I do is sit and play WoW all day, but you probably get more time on WoW than I do, especially when something like this is going on, where I'm going from someone else's podcast to our podcast to a 25-man raid to then staying up all night editing. Poor me, eh? Oh, I feel sorry for me. It's true. That, like, you know, but I'm going hard now, getting the content out, doing everything I need to do. So then when it does launch, that's me for about 2 weeks not moving out of this chair. It's going to stink.
Yeah, but 15-man raid, I don't know.
Yeah.
I see table put it out there.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be weird going from like 10 to 15 to back to 10 up to 20. I like consistency.
Yeah, but UBRS was 15-man. I think even the first iteration of Scholomance was 10-man or Strat, you know, going all the way back to original vanilla. I think it was Scholomance that was 10-man and UBRS that was 15. Need confirmation in chat, as I say. You know, it's not something that I've looked up for a long time. But I know they were bigger than 5. So I don't think it would be out of the ordinary. Yeah, for like the level 40, like it was Gnomeregon, but it was tuned for 15 people. Maybe they do just gradually scale it up. You know, it's 10-man at 25, and at 40 we'll get a 15-man. At 50 we'll get a 20-man, and then finally at 60 we'll get a 25-man, and then it turns into 25-man raiding. Oh, I've just set it up for them. That's all they've got to do. That's all they've got to do, is do exactly what I just said.
Simple. Yeah. Alright, and then next we've got Warsong Gulch will be available at launch, so we get one of our PvP battlegrounds, and that's a 10 versus 10 as well. Look at how nicely that fit together there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of obvious again, you know, that Warsong Gulch was going to be available, because we're getting Warsong Gulch rep from Ashenvale PvP, so I would have been surprised if Warsong Gulch weren't out. But man, just that. Like, you know, it's not taking a lot to get me excited about this, because, like, Warsong Gulch with these ridiculous runes. I mean, you're going to have paladins running around, like, you know, with their fear, like, tremor totem armor on. You get, like, you're going to have cats pumping. You're going to have rets pumping. You're going to have mages healing by doing damage to you. Like, it's going to be a very, very weird experience. And I'm kind of with Jay, and it's all right. I can agree with Jay now he's not here. I'm never going to do it while he's here. I'm really, the more I think about the PvP in Season of Discovery, the more I'm looking forward to it, which I never thought I'd say.
Today I went through and looked at all my PvE stuff. I got happy with that. I'm kind of know where I'm heading with that. And then now my next thing is I'm looking at the PvP stuff. Like, what talents am I going to use? What runes? Yeah. I'm stoked for it.
What if they added Arena?
Ooh.
Because all they'd have to add really is the like Lordaeron Arena, like the undead one. They couldn't put Blade's Edge in, but they could just put a couple in that would fit with vanilla. But even if it was just 2v2, having Arena in would be pretty fun, especially if you could solo queue. If they added it solo queue as well. Only Arena will see as BRD Arena, unfortunately. Well, I'd take BRD as the aesthetic for the Arena, but I don't know. I think like it would be so like ridiculously not balanced at each of those brackets that it would just be fun to do.
Dude, how hard is it going to be to get into the BRD? You have to jump down, you have to swim, and then you have to run through an entire hallway just to get to the raid. So the PvP action in that hallway is just going to be nuts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at higher levels, the world PvP is going to be on fire.
I might actually roll a PvP server. I've been a PvE Care Bear all of Classic, but yeah, I'm kind of hyped for this. Maybe it'll get stale really quick, and I'll be like, man, I can't even get to the raid. This sucks.
I'll be going PvP. Even streaming, I don't care. Like I will be going PvP server 100%. Just more fun. People can come and stream snipe me. I don't care. I'll put a 1 hour delay on the stream. Ashley, thank you for the super chat. Dual spec. They said Agron's exact words was like, and who knows? Maybe in the future, you might be able to have more than one spec. I'm fairly sure that's more or less what he said word for word. He didn't say it like, I don't know the voice that I was putting on. He didn't say it like that, but it was along those lines. So I would guess level 40, when we get to the level 40 bracket, you might get dual spec. Or level 50, or whatever.
I
but
hope so.
It's needed.
Yeah. There's always the people that are on the other side of the spectrum, and they were talking about like the other side of the hall. I don't know if spectrum was the right word, but they were like, that doesn't fit in classic, dual spec. No, it's like, but come on, we need it.
It's not vanilla now.
Cost only gets you so far. Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be there. Dual spec needs to be there, especially when they've gave multiple roles to to classes that didn't have that option before. It's a no-brainer for me, but
people are going to be wanting to respec all the time. Like, I'm glad that they had the foresight to be like, yeah, we're going to reduce that cost, because you respec 3 times and it was 50 gold out of nowhere, and it was brutal.
Yeah, I don't know why my alert box isn't working. I'll fix it.
Yeah, we got one more thing here at the bottom. The honor system will be on, but capped to not go beyond level 25 rewards. And they were saying, you can't be a Grand Marshal. You can't get rank 14 at level 25. But, yeah, you'll be able to get some honor and stuff. And use it to buy gear, I think, was mentioned as well.
So
new gear.
Do we know if it's going to be the new Classic era PvP system?
I would assume so.
I would as well.
Yeah, I'd put my money on that. There's no way they would go back now and use the original system.
No, so maybe I might make a bold statement here and now, and then maybe delete this if it turns out I'm not gonna. So there's no evidence. I might go for Grand Marshal on a Paladin. Yeah, I might actually go for Grand Marshal in the season. That'd be fun. It's going to give me something to really aim for and make like proper 2004 PvP montage, you know, with really heavy rock music on in the background while it zooms in on those big 250 crits. It's going to be mental.
I love montages. If you made a montage, that'd be sick. Like
Yeah.
even Agrin said that he made the video that they had in the announcement, where it was like the music and it was the different clips going through BFD. I even loved that. Like that was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely had a drink the night before. He had right shaky hands during that camera footage when he was flying through, though. I was looking at it and I was like, man. Just put it on auto run. I mean, you're on your own server. You know, you just type .mod space speed space like 0.2, so you move really slow, and then you make your size smaller by modding your size. Agron, just tips for you when you're when you're on the development servers. And then you can keep a nice smooth flow without no shaking because your character's that much smaller, which gives you a much wider view. And you're moving that much slower that it masks the movement. So you're welcome, Agrand. You're welcome. Someone clip this, send it to him. He'll appreciate it. Because he's probably never done it before.
Yeah, no.
Never done it before. Right, okay. Do you want to get into the runes now?
Yeah, let's get into them.
Cool. And I have now got actual notifications working on the screen. So, yay! As if like I all of a sudden know what I'm doing. Can you imagine? No.
Which one do you want to get into first? We've got, what, Hunter, Pally, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Lock, Warrior left.
You pick. Let chat pick. What class do you want us to talk about?
Pick. Okay. The next super chat gets to decide which one we do first.
No, we haven't got to monetize that. You can just say it. You could just, whatever we see the most of, we'll start there. So we got Warlock, Hunter, Priest, Rogue, Warrior, whatever. No, we've not done Hunter. The only thing we've done is Mage and Druid. Let's talk about Paladin. Let's do Paladin and then let's end it and then let's come back tomorrow for part 3.
Part 3? Oh gosh. Not 3 nights in a row.
There's a lot of hunters in chat, but most of them are Stark. I mean, Stark, you need to super chat. You need to super chat to get what you want, Stark. Everybody else is fine. For you to get what you want, you have to super chat. Just so I can see your name on the screen, you know. I can say that to him because I know he's probably already putting his bank details in.
A couple priests are coming in.
Oh, Ashley's gone with Shaman, and actually super chatted Shaman, and that is actually one class that I didn't even mention.
I didn't even mention it either, did I? Is it even up? Oh no, I did. I mentioned it. Ha.
Right, if we just like try and ignore Stark's Hunter spam and try and have a good idea of what people are really saying.
Hunters, though. Dealey said Hunter. Keldraga said Hunter.
Oh, hang on. So Rain in Hell James. Is just... No, the launch date is the 30th of November, Rain. Don't worry about what it says. The launch date is the 30th. They said it live at BlizzCon, you know, that the launch date is the 30th of November, not the week of. So, plus, the week of the 30th of November, the 30th of November is a Thursday. The week of would have been like the 26th, you know.
Yeah.
But, all right, you pick out of everything that's in chat. I think we should go with Ashley purely because Ashley super chatted and we'll just give some favoritism.
She's a legend. Yeah, let's do it.
Favoritism to the super chat.
Hunter next. I'll go ahead and say Hunter next, though.
Okay, Hunter next. So let's do Shaman then Hunter. I'll put it on screen, and you can. Do you want to start us off with Shaman?
If you let me know, what are we doing first? Chest, hands, legs.
Stark's just super chatted for Hunter next.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it goes. Yeah, we're rolling in line now.
Okay, so Shaman then Hunter. Let's go. Should we start with gloves? Purely because, as I say, I think gloves is like the staple ability.
Sure.
Okay, fire it away.
I know nothing about Shaman. I'm gonna start off with that.
I can put in some.
I'm assuming I can guess which one's which. But there's 4 different. Oh, because there's a new tank one. Okay, so we've got Lava Burst. You hurl molten lava at the target, dealing some fire damage. If your flame shock is on the target, Lava Burst will deal a critical strike. That's what Ellie Shaman.
Ellie Shaman, yeah, Ellie Shaman, and it exists. Obviously, it's existed for many expansions. So. Yeah.
And then we've got Lava Lash. You charge your offhand weapon with lava, instantly dealing 100% offhand weapon damage damage is increased by 20% if your offhand weapon is enchanted with Flame Tongue. So that would be enhance?
That's enhancement. Yeah, but what I find interesting is shamans are going to get dual wield specialization. Sorry, just going back up to the top. So increases. I don't know what it was. It increases your chance to hit with both spells and melee attacks by 5% while dual wielding. Your Storm Strike ability now hits with both weapons while dual wielding. Now, I'm assuming, without actually going and checking someone who played a shaman on, at BlizzCon, that you're getting dual wield now as a shaman from the word go. Because it's not actually, it's like there's none of these runes that give you the ability to dual wield. And if we was to look at the actual talents for a shaman, obviously there was no such thing as dual wield shaman, in vanilla. It was, you had a big two-handed weapon and you prayed for Wind Fury procs and just destroyed things. So I'm hoping that you literally create your shaman, and at level 1 you've got dual wield. No, it's not a rune. There's dual wield specialization, which increases your chance to hit while you're dual wielding, but it doesn't enable you to dual wield. That's not what it says.
Hopefully we get all of our weapon things and don't have to go to the trainer. That was always a big thing with me, is like looking up which weapon trainer allows me to carry maces and stuff. And hopefully all that stuff's default.
Yeah. Well, there's not... No, if I look at what abilities you learn, this probably ain't up to date yet, on the actual talent calculator where it shows you the abilities you actually get. Big fella said, I'm betting it's a level 10 thing. You scrolled past it. What did I scroll past? Top one. The top one's not dual wield. The top one's dual wield specialization, which increases your chance to hit with both spells and melee attacks by 5% while dual wielding, and your Storm Strike ability now hits with both weapons while dual wielding. Yeah, that's not actually saying this gives you dual wield. This is saying you'll have dual wield before you can even use dual wield specialization. So I'm guessing, on the basis that I would say you'd get Lava Lash, which is the one we're actually talking about. I'd say you'd get Lava Lash at level 2, or let's say it's level 5. You're going to get it out of the starting zone. I would say that you're going to get dual wield very, 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 very early. Maybe 10, but I would say pre-10. Sorry, go, carry on.
No, Molten Blast, even right away, since we've already got Ellie and Enhance out the way, and I know Water Shield's last, that's got to be Resto. So Molten Blast has to be the new tank one. We got Blast enemies in a cone in front of you for fire damage. This ability generated a high amount of threat. There we go. Flame Shock periodic damage has a 10% chance to reset the cooldown on Molten Blast.
I mean, that sounds bloody awesome. So that's the first one where it's actually, you got some options. As in, because you could technically use that. I don't know what the cast time of it's going to be. And I don't know where James kept finding the cast times yesterday. Not cast times, cooldown. Cooldown and cast time. But as a tank, you would assume that's instant, right? You wouldn't... While you're casting, you lose all your avoidance.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got to be instant.
With a cooldown, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Maybe it's a 30-second cooldown or something.
So now imagine being enhancement, and while leveling as enhancement, and you're flame shocking something, and you're getting a 10% chance to keep, multiple mobs in front of you using Molten Blast. We're looking at it as a tanking rune, because it says the high amount of threat. But that could actually be better while leveling than Lava Lash. Potentially.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I liked using Cone of Cold as a mage back in the day, so having an AoE cone tank ability seems pretty cool.
Yeah, and what Taran has just said as well, wouldn't be surprised if Molten Blast was used by Enhanced. Lava Lash is a bad ability in Wrath. Yeah, it just doesn't hit hard enough. If we read Lava Lash again... it's instantly dealing 100% offhand weapon damage. All right, cool, weapon damage. And it's increased by 20% if your offhand weapon's enchanted by Flame Tongue. The thing is, with Molten Blast, you could be using this back-to-back, and it's hitting multiple targets. It'll probably turn out that Molten Blast is a DPS increase, if there's 2 mobs, for example, or if there's 3 mobs. The problem does come from the high amount of threat, How much threat does it do? Are we going to have enhanced shamans that are going to be pulling off tanks because it does more damage.
I'd like to see it. I
Me
mean,
too.
they were always squishy too, so.
Oh,
And
yeah.
always had the lowest HP. But water shield, we've got our Resto Shaman. The caster is surrounded by 3 globes of water, granting 1% of your maximum mana per 5 seconds. When a spell, melee, or ranged attack hits the caster, 4% of maximum mana is restored to the caster. This expends... Wait, what? Yeah, this expends on water globe.
One. It expends 1 water globe. Is what it's meant to say,
okay.
yeah. And only 1 glove. Yeah, there's a lot of typos in this. Only 1 glove will be activated every few seconds. It's only 1 globe will be activated every few seconds.
I'm sure the Wowhead writers are just exhausted from... I can't blame them for a typo here, yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, only 1 globe will be activated every few seconds. Lasts for 10 minutes. Only 1 LE shield can be active on the Shaman at any time. And I heard that they were having... No, this is for Resto.
No, I mean, it could be any of them, actually.
Yeah.
This is it's a really strong, like, especially for leveling, it's really strong. That's why I think Shaman's quite interesting. And James, thank you, by the way. You're doing, I was going to say God's work, but you're doing Go's work. I mean, really, he should have done this in preparation for the stream.
I did little, I'm sorry.
When you think about it, like, as Ellie, you could use Water Shield because, it's going to just give you lots of mana back, and you're just going to use Lightning Bolt as your primary way of doing damage with Flame Shock. Because Lava Burst is great, and it does big damage. Don't get me wrong. But if you want damage and you want to kill stuff quick, Lava Burst. If you want a bit more longevity when you're, just running and gunning, basically, you're just going to be killing mobs doing quests, Water Shield could be better for sustain. I'm not talking in raids. Obviously, raids at level 25 doing BFD, you're going to use Lava Burst, But while leveling, you could use Water Shield. Lava Burst, for just more damage, you could use it. Molten Blast, I mean, you could even use that as Ellie, quite honestly. For just more AoE, and I know it's in front, it's a cone in front of you, so you're going to be a bit up close and personal, but who cares? Enhancement, you could use 3 of the 4. You could use Water Shield, Lava Lash, or Molten Blast. As Resto, yeah, you're going to use Water Shield as Resto. But you're not going to level as Resto, are you? So, whatever. It doesn't matter, but you're only going to use 1. But this is what I wanted to see for Druids.
Yeah. Like seeing this now, because I haven't looked at this one yet. Like this, I'm jealous.
Yeah, the Shamans have got choices. It's like, yeah, you can do a bit of AoE and have Molten Blast. You can have big single target, have Lava. You can have Sustain by using Water Shield. You've just got there's options. Which is again, Druid seem to lack a little bit, but
it's like they started with our Sunfire rune, and then they were like, oh yeah, they'll be fine with that. Let's move on to Shaman.
Yeah. All right, let's do chest next, because normally chest is fairly cut and dry on what spec uses what, but let's see if that's the case for Shamans.
For Shaman, we have dual wield specialization. Increases your chance to hit with both spells and melee attacks by 5% while dual wielding, and your Storm Strike ability now hits with both weapons while dual wielding. I felt really kind of Sarth there. I wasn't trying to do it, but I feel like when I was reading that, I could feel Sarth's energy flowing through my body. I don't know.
I'm glad it's just his energy that's in your body, but yeah, anyway.
This rune increases your chance to hit with both spells and melee attacks by 5%.
Yeah. He's got a lot of energy, that boy. Whereas I'm more like increase your chance to hit. It's just shit. Just use something else. I can't even bother to read the whole thing. No,
we've got.
What do you think about that before we move on to the others? So obviously, it calls out enhancement, don't it? You're getting 5% hit, which that's massive. That is absolutely massive. And your Storm Strike ability hits with both weapons.
I could see it for the tank spec too.
The only thing I'm a little bit worried about there is you don't get Storm Strike till is that level 40 when you get the bottom talent in vanilla? It is, isn't it?
I knew there was something that they were talking about with Shamans where it's like, yeah, that's a level 40 ability. Like, why do we have a rune for it?
So it would be level 40. So it's a 25 rune. So really, it sounds like you're benefiting like massively here, but you are only actually getting 5% hit, which is not terribly valuable while you're leveling. I know it helps. Like, don't start flaming me. I know hit helps, but the majority of the time you're going to be fighting mobs that are your level or lower. So you don't need as much hit. So I mean, I don't know. What do you think, shamans? If there's any shamans in chat, like to me, that's actually fairly lackluster until after 40. 5% would mix up biscuit. Oh, it absolutely would, Andrew. Absolutely.
I would love 3% hit. I'd love 2% hit as a balanced druid. And they get 5. Again, they gave everything to the shaman that I was looking for in balance.
Yeah.
At this low level. Maybe my 5% hit is at level 40. That's fine.
Yeah. It's a bit of a weird one, but then I suppose, they can't just tune every rune, so it's good at 25 and then useless for the rest of the game, I suppose. So, it's there. This rune is good from whatever level you get it. If you get it at 10, it's good from 10, and it's still good in raise at 60. It's just a bit of a shame that in this first phase, you're not getting the full benefit of the rune. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, next we've got Healing Rain. I wonder if that's for the resto. We've got selects the area 15 yards around the target player and heals all of the target's player's party members within that area for 20 seconds.
Sexy. Healing Rain is literally the best shaman spell that comes in Cataclysm. And, I mean, it's an absolute nightmare to get, let's use our ICC 25 Monday group. Trying to get that Monday group to stand in a Healing Rain would be an absolute nightmare. They'll be like, oh my god, there's something on the floor. I'm getting out of that. But it is amazing. Obviously, as a Resto Shaman, there's not an option. There is no option here. You will be getting Healing Rain because it's sick.
It sounds pretty cool. But yeah, I guess it's not really that great, and you could maybe switch it to a different rune for...
Hang on, no. Sorry, just to cut you off. It is only party, though.
Around that target player's party.
Yeah, so it is only party, not raid. Maybe it's not going to be as good as, the Cata version. The Cata version is it heals everybody who stands in it. This will only heal the party, which then makes it even more awkward if you put it down on a... it would have to be on melee, John. You're absolutely right. It would have to be on melee, because if I put it on go and he's spread out from everyone else... you would be relying on those 4 other people that are in his party to walk over and stand in it.
Yeah, I feel like ranged is typically spread. So this would be good if ranged was all stacked up for something, but yeah, melee is usually stacked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what it looks like, because, like Table said, it's a hot version of Circle of Healing, basically. Yeah, I mean, this might not actually, in Season of Discovery, it might not actually work as a ground heal. It might be a rain, an actual rain, coming down over the players, you know what I mean? Rather than actually, while you're stood in it, you take healing. It could be a completely different version of Healing Rain, which I'm hoping it is. Otherwise, it'll be fairly useless if it is a ground effect. But
oh yeah. Next, we've got Overload. Gives your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Chain Heal, Healing Wave, and Lava Burst spells a 33% chance to cast a second similar spell on the same target at no additional cost that causes half the damage or healing and no threat.
That is absolutely bonkers. And shamans in chat, why is that bonkers? What is the one thing they've done to that?
Chain lightning?
No.
Having extra chain lightning damage when it's already broken? Or are you talking about the threat? What do you...
The thing that makes that absolutely bonkers is that it's actually got healing that it does. The heals, exactly, Cal. The heals. Like, Overload is not new. Overload is like a staple LE talent. You're fishing for Overload procs and praying that your lightning is just chaining and chaining and chaining. Overload's amazing. But the fact that it works with heals, that is mental. Literally chain healing, and then it procs Overload and does another chain heal for half of the cost. That is literally mental.
And Druid's got wild, whatever it's called, wild growth.
Wild
Yay.
growth. Mate, a bit choosing between overload and healing rain. I mean, see what I mean with options? Shamans have done really well. And people are saying to me like the shaman ones are rubbish, but yeah, every runes, all the runes we've spoke about so far, there's not one where you go, that's for the healer, that's for the elemental. You've really got options. Mental.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm saying it like that as we go through it, like, oh, shield mastery, this is for the tank. But yeah, you can find situations for all these, for each spec. And yeah, druid again. We're very limited compared to this.
Oh, shit.
But yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it works on lava burst as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's great to see runes synergize. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, like dual wield specialization, they might have to wait for 40, but yeah, they can all use overload.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Shield mastery. Each time you block, you regenerate mana equal to 4% of your maximum mana, and you gain armor equal to 30% of your shield's armor value, stacking up to 5 times. You also always gain 10% increased chance to block and 15% increased block value.
Wow, yeah, that's a really interesting way to turn a shaman into a tank. I mean, that you would just use as a shaman tank. I can't really think of many situations that you would use this other than maybe solo in elites or something. You know, slotting that on and using it to solo elites or solo stuff. But
well, Resto, they usually have shields, so if they're blocking with their shield, they're regenerating their mana.
But then you're having to get hit. You don't want to really get hit as a healer, do you?
Well, just while you're leveling up. Like,
while you're leveling, yeah.
Something.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, what a crazy way to make shamans be able to tank. So each time you block, you regenerate mana. So that solves the whole struggling on fret by going ohm. Like, that's cool. Cheers, Bloodtail Admiral Caboose. Thank you, mate. I like your face. So you're maximum mana, and you gain armor equal to 30% of your shield's armor value, stacking up to 5 times. You also always gain 10% increased chance to block and 15% increased block value. So, I mean, shamans are literally becoming a prop paladin, aren't they? They've made them very block-based, which absolutely is the right thing to do, because when you actually look at shaman, they get their very first talent is shield specialization, increasing your chance to block with your shield and increasing the amount blocked. So, I don't know. That's pretty spicy.
Jeez.
That's pretty spicy.
Imagine trying to hit a shaman tank in PvP as a melee.
Yeah, and then they're literally just AoE in your group down with Molten Blast. I mean, that has literally just made me question life. No, it's made me question whether my Horde first character is going to be a shaman or a druid, and we've not even finished the shaman yet, and I'm already thinking first character on Alliance is paladin. First on Horde is looking more and more likely to be shaman.
I can't fault you. I knew it was originally druid, but
this just looks bloody too good. It looks too good. Yeah. Okay, legs. Do you want to start?
To the legs.
No, exactly. We've not got to the one that is normally the best runes. If we go by all the other classes, the leg runes are the big ones. But this is like mental. So I've got to start the legs. I need to grab a beer. I'm sat here thirsty.
Yeah, I got plenty to read. We got Ancestral Guidance. For the next 10 seconds, 25% of your damage is converted to healing on up to 3 nearby party members. And 100% of your healing is converted to damage on your most recent Flame Shock target. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers, mate. What one did you read? Was that way over?
Ancestral Guidance.
Oh, Ancestral Guidance.
I might have them in a different order than you have. I don't know.
No, that's the right order.
Okay, I'm going off the talent sheet build thing. Talent calculator. Yeah,
no, that's cool. Yeah, Ancestral Guidance. So for the next 10 seconds, 25% of your damage is converted to healing up to 3 nearby target, and 100% of your healing is converted to damage on your most recent Flame Shock target. That's an interesting one. There's nothing I can compare that to. You know, like thinking that's a very Ancestral Guidance exists in other future expansions, but yeah, not like that. That's like double dipping, isn't it? So you're going to be healing the 3 people. So essentially, you're getting 100% of your healing. So you're doing 25% of your damage is converted to healing on up to 3 nearby party members, and then 100% of that healing is converted to damage on your most recent flame shock. Yeah, so it's like double dipping. You're getting extra damage from doing damage, but also healing people at the same time.
Which seems like they've done that with a lot of classes. You're doing damage and you're doing healing at the same time. Like mages, same kind of situation. Druids have a lot of hybrid stuff with damage and healing. So, yeah, it makes sense that they have that for Shaman too.
Now, the interesting thing with this is it going to divide the 25% of your damage to heal those 3, or will it do the full amount to all 3? Do you know what I mean? So if you was to stand next to someone who needs the healing, like the tank or something, you do the damage and they're going to take 25% of your damage as healing. If there was another 2 people stood next to it, would it do the same healing but to the other people?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know. But it would slightly change the way you'd use it, wouldn't it? Just a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be enough to be able to... Cause it's probably got like a 2-minute cooldown or something. You're not going to be able to use it enough to be like a real good healing ability, but could come useful in clutch situations.
Mm-hmm. Then next we've got Earth Shield. Let me take a deep breath here. This is a big one. Protects the target with an earthen shield, reducing casting or channeling time lost when damaged by 30% and causing attacks to heal the shielded target by 100. This effect can only occur once every few seconds. It's got 3 charges, lasts 10 minutes. Earth Shield can only be placed on 1 target at a time, and only 1 elemental shield can be active on a target at a time. And I did that in 1 breath, and I still got more oxygen, and it's run out. Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, Earth Shield's nothing new. It's doing exactly the same thing. Last 10 minutes, Earth Shield can only be placed on 1 target at a time. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the same as Earth Shield as we're used to from other expansions. So good for Resto. If you're a Resto Shaman, you're most likely going to use Earth Shield, unless one of these other ones we get to in a minute blows it out of the water. And is it a skirt? What did I miss? What did I miss something when I went and got a beer?
Somebody said something about legs. Why are we talking legs? I thought you were usually legless. Caboose? Oh, no, Caboose is part of his name.
Yeah, I normally am Caboose. Thank you. We love Caboose. Caboose is good people.
And next we've got Shamanistic Rage. How do you say it? Shamanistic or shamanistic?
Shamanistic.
Shaman.
I don't care.
Shaman too.
You can just call it Sham Rage if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sham Rage reduces all damage you take by 20%, and you regenerate mana every second for 15 seconds. Mana regenerated per second is equal to 15% of your attack power, 10% of your spell power, or 6% of your healing power, whichever value is greatest. Because, yeah, like I was saying yesterday, I think spell power and healing power is separate in Classic, not all one spell power, like all the Wrath players might be used to right now.
Yeah, it should be, it's completely separate, isn't it? It's plus damage and plus healing. It weren't until TBC where they sort of combined them. You would get a percentage of spell damage as healing, and if it was healing, you would get a percentage of healing as damage. Yeah, in vanilla, it's completely split. Yeah, really good. I mean, Shamanistic Rage exists, not like that. That is very different, but also very good, because just the fact that you can use it as a personal cooldown, 20% damage reduction, and you can use it cleverly at the right time when you need to get the mana back as well, and it's useful for all 3 specs. I mean, that's pretty sick, isn't it? And I mean, Shamanistic Rage has normally got a very short cooldown as well, like 1.5 minutes. It's not big, so it might be longer in Season of Discovery, obviously, but yeah, it's quite a short cooldown.
Yet another reason to main Shamans, it looks like.
Well, again, like Earth Shield's great. If you're thinking about as a Resto Shaman, Earth Shield's great. But if you're like not on tank duty, Like Earth Shield, you're always going to put Earth Shield on a tank. It's as simple as that, even though it is the channeling time lost and all that. There might be the odd fight where there's constant pulse in AoE go out where you might want to put it on yourself purely for that. But 99% of the time it will be on the tank. Now, if you've got Holy Paladins or Arcane Mages keeping the tanks up, and you're literally like chain healing your little arse off with Overload, Shamanistic Rage, using it on cooldown to get mana back, I don't know. You got options.
Yeah, and just in case there's a dev watching, I'm thinking ahead since there's no beta. I wonder if people are going to try an Earth Shield and then switch their rune to another rune. I hope Earth Shield. I hope that they've tested it and they know like to get rid of that shield to check for these different runes being applied, because people would abuse the shit out of that on launch. So I had to get that out of there before it went out of my head.
That is literally that's one of the smartest things you've ever said. Like ever.
And I'm trying to brush over it. Like, okay, let's move on.
Yeah, no, I think we should fixate on that a little bit more, because I don't think you're ever going to say anything better than that again. So we might as well take the time to really appreciate it. No, in all seriousness, no, you're absolutely right, and I wonder if that's why it's only 3 charges. I'm wondering if they've thought they'll do that, so we'll have it really short, so it needs refreshing quite frequently. But then again, 3 charges. If you was using it as a caster, then again, yeah, there might be niche situations where you could abuse it, but for the you'd be using Water Shield as Resto, like you'd want mana back rather than the pushback maybe. I don't know, but you're right. They do need to really think about how that could be abused. Like, we're only looking at Shaman, but, for any of these as we get to them. So it's a really good point.
Yeah, because people have abused that all through Wrath.
Oh, yeah, think about the last one.
Took a while.
Think about Ancestral Guidance. Like, it's 10 seconds, but you quickly switch your rune on the pull. You might have 7 seconds, let's say, of doing more damage, converting it to healing and all of that, whilst you're also benefiting from Way of Earth. Or benefiting from Shamanistic Rage. That absolutely could happen.
And now I'm thinking, we haven't looked at rogues yet, but what can rogues just completely abuse with like Vanish and PvP?
Oh, I'm looking forward to getting to Rogue, but if we don't do if we don't do Hunter after this, I don't think Stark will talk to me again.
All right, we got Way of Earth. While Rock Biter weapon is active on your main hand weapon, you deal 100% increased threat. Gain 30% increased health, take 10% reduced damage, gain 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks, and Earthshock taunts targets to attack you and has a separate cooldown from other shock spells, but has its range reduced to melee range. Yeah?
Oh, I don't know what to say. I don't.
There's a lot in there.
No, the thing is, I don't know how anyone who plays WoW in their right mind, whether you play retail, classic era, Wrath of the Lich King, whether you're as hyped as I am for Kata, I don't know how you can read an ability like that in vanilla and not get excited. Like, that is absolutely, excuse my French, it's fucking mental. It really is. Like, that is such a genius way. With that, on top of Shield Mastery, on top of having Molten Blast, like, Shaman Tank is going to be a lot of fun. Like,
I mean, they were already trying to do it without any of these runes in classic vanilla, and giving them all of these extra tools, yeah, they're going to be blasting.
The only thing I'm not quite happy about, all right, I'm just going to put it out there now, and I will double check when we actually get to Paladin. Druid gets Survival of the Fittest from a rune, making him crit immune with no need of defense, which is normal for druids in future expansions. That's normal to be able to get crit immune just from talents. Shaman's getting crit immune from their rune as well. I don't think Paladin does. Like, I don't remember a rune for Paladin that makes you crit immune, so you're still going to need defense, which I don't know how I feel about that.
So now you're switching from Pally to Shaman.
No. I'm still going Paladin first. Paladin do want to get crit. Technically, you're right, Amphrax. But then you could not take the first shield block talent because you get Aegis, which does the same thing, and the stacks are not cumulative. So you'll only have one or the other up anyway. So you'd rather be crit immune and use Aegis, and not bother taking the shield block talent in the top tier. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things change. But that's and Pally gets plate gear. Andrew, I suppose you're right. You know, in the sense, well, if everyone was trying to get defense gear, you know, let's not worry about plate armor. Let's think more about defense rings, defense trinkets, necks, weapons. You know, if everyone, you know, all of these tanks needed defense, then that would make all of these items far more contested. At least you've got like warriors and paladins that will be going for the defense rings and the defense trinkets and all of that to get their crit immunity. The other ones don't need it, so they can go more DPS style or, you know, avoidance in other ways rather than it being defense. So yeah, it's interesting. I just wanted to point it out. I want crit immunity from a rune as well, please.
Yeah, Pally tanks aren't strong enough. We need more stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That was them all. I mean, how do you feel about Shaman? Like, I know you only ever play a balanced druid, but would you be intrigued on playing around with a Shaman?
Since it's level 25, I might be keen on leveling one up. Yeah. I never liked the totems though, so totem still being involved. But I mean, the runes look insane.
Yeah, they do. It's a shame there weren't any of these runes that do anything to totems. Now you've said that, actually. You know, it's surprising that they didn't use one where it's like, oh, when you're using Stoneclaw totem, your damage is reduced by 20% or something. It's quite surprising that there was no runes that affect totems. I didn't think about it. But...
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Now you can lose sleep over it.
Okay, so Hunter, let's do Hunter for Stark. So they get a bunch of runes on chest, legs, and gloves. Right, should we do Rogue next?
Yeah, on to Rogues. We got Subtlety, we got Combat, Assassination specs. Their glove rune looks really sick. They've got 5 to choose from, unlike Hunter, which only had 3, which I'm guessing.
I didn't really look at Hunter. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know how many was there, to be honest. I just saw a bunch of runes and was like, all right, let's move on. All right, Hunter. Go on.
Hunter, fine. Hands again, yeah.
I must admit though, theirs do look really small in comparison. You know, as in like everything's like one tiny sentence.
Oh yeah,
this won't take long.
I can do all 4 of these in one breath. You're a pet not. Right. We got Beast Mastery. Your pet's damage and health are increased by 30%, and its focus regeneration by 80%. In addition, your pet's growl now also taunts the target to attack it for 3 seconds. Huge for soloing stuff, which they were already great at. In open world, you know, while they're questing, doing elite mobs. Is that supposed to be like their tank thing? Are we supposed to see Hunter tanks with their pets?
No, you'd almost say that's the BM. You know, that's the BM glove rune, if you like. Yeah, it's not particularly exciting. I got to be honest with you. You know, I don't read that and think, oh wow, I can't wait to get that rune. I mean, there's only one rune I'm excited about for Hunter, and that's Lone Wolf. The first thing I want to do is fucking get rid of my pet, not make it stronger.
yeah. I would play Hunter if I didn't have a pet. Which sounds weird. All right, next we've got Carve, a sweeping attack that strikes all enemies in front of you for 50% weapon damage. You deal 125% weapon damage, refreshing the current sting on your target and triggering an effect.
What? You're reading straight into Chimera Shot. Oh, Carve, did you
that's all part of it. Oh, my...
did you
sorry,
did Carve just bore you? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Carve.
I was like, what is going on here? Well, yeah, I wanted to say it different just to see if... Yeah.
Well, I mean, I read it as Carve, and you're like, Carve. I didn't realise we were French, mate. I don't know what's going on.
Well, sweeping attack that strikes all enemies in front of you for 50% weapon damage. So, yeah, melee Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, but can we talk about how exciting that is just for a minute? So, no, anyway, Chimera Shot next?
Yeah, Chimera Shot.
Cool.
You deal 125% weapon damage, refreshing the current sting on your target and triggering an effect. Serpent Sting will instantly deal 40% of the damage done by your Serpent Sting. Viper Sting instantly restores mana to you equal to 60% of the total amount drained by Viper Sting. Scorpion Sting attempts to disarm the target for 10 seconds. This effect can not occur more than once per minute.
Well, I gotta be honest, I'm a big fan of Chimera Shot.
Sounds mental for PvP.
Sting don't scale with gear, great value. Yeah, but like, will it in Season of Discovery? Will it start scaling with attack power? They might do different coefficients for it. I would think that they will. Otherwise, because it scales with nature damage, don't it? So we're going to see hunters in full nature plus nature damage gear for big Chimera shots. I mean, who knows? I mean, that would keep it interesting. You know, I'm not saying like it would be a bad thing if they done that, but yeah. But I do like Chimera Shot. I mean, doing it with Scorpion Sting for a disarm is huge in PvP. Like that.
Oh yeah,
that's huge. And putting Serpent Sting up and then never needing to worry about it again is also nice. It's a good ability. I don't know. I just don't think it's particularly exciting, if I'm honest. You know, not compared to what we've spoke about so far. Like, I'm not like, oh wow, I can't wait for Chimera Shot.
Oh yeah, because you had a hunter in Wrath.
I raid on a hunter in Wrath, and I went quite hard on a hunter during Mr. Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor and got full gold challenge mode gear and everything. But I need Lone Wolf to play a hunter. So I hate having a pet, and Stark knows. Like he's always moaning at me for not healing his pet and ignoring my own pet when I'm on my hunter. I don't like pet classes. That's why I don't play a warlock. It's why. You know, all right, I've played a bit of Hunter in Wrath and, you know, done all Alduar, TOGC, ICC, but I'm not going to say it's the most fun class in the world, but getting Lone Wolf could change that. It will come down to what Amphrax said, which I hadn't even thought about, is exactly how they're going to scale with certain abilities, you know.
Yeah, and having a pet, just thinking of BRD, our new raid, you've got the whole platform thing you have to jump across. We all know pets don't follow you when you jump across platforms. So, yeah. Having a pet on that first boss, you'd have to get to the last platform, summon your pet, and then hop back away, or stay in melee if you could. But yeah, having a pet is just a nightmare for me.
I wouldn't join a BFD group until I've got Lone Wolf. I'm like, no,
yeah,
I'm not. I need Lone Wolf first, and I'll join. All right. I mean, the next one's at least good. Go on.
Yep, you explosive shot. You fire an explosive charge into the enemy target, dealing fire damage. The charge will blast the target every second for an additional 2 seconds. Cooldown shared with Arcane Shot.
So, that's great if somewhere along the line we're going to get that real big ability that we need to go with it. Anyone in chat want to tell me what that ability is?
I'm a guess, not knowing anything with Hunter. You talking about Trap Launcher?
LNL. You want lock and load.
Okay.
Like, lock and load brings explosive shot to life, in my opinion. I mean, people might disagree. That's fine. Yeah, explosive shot on its own is cool. You just press the button and it does some damage. But there's nothing more exciting than getting a lock and load proc and then being able to use explosive shot again. You know, like that. If that's going to come from somewhere, then, you know, from a future rune on something or whatever, then okay, like you're in business. Without that, I don't know. And it fires an explosive charge on the basis it's never been in vanilla. What is that scaling with? You know, is it scaling with attack power? Is it going to be, you know, is the coefficient going to be based on attack power? Is it going to be fire damage?
Fire damage, yeah.
Yeah, like
that was my guess.
That's why I think they need to bring all of these things up to date to a certain extent where, you know, Serpent Sting is scaling from attack power, explosive shot, Chimera Shot, like all of these, they need to be scaling with the appropriate stats. Otherwise, it's going to be weird. Explosive shares cooldown with Arcane and Aim Shot. It's not a bad rune, but it doesn't add anything. It's just a different button. Yeah, exactly, Amphrax, exactly. Just another button to press. Now, the reason I wanted to do Hunter so bad is because this is the bullshit that they gave the Hunters and made me choose not to play Season of Discovery.
Oh.
Flanking strike sounds like Rex Irish inspired thing. You still run around with a pet, but you play as melee. Oh, we've not got there yet. Spoilers. Car. Sorry. Carry on. Go. All right.
Good.
So overall, glove rune, I would say there's nothing exciting there, and Carve is one of the worst ones I've seen so far.
I hope everybody calls it Carve now on. Yeah.
I will never call it anything else. Yeah, it's Carve.
This kind of reminds me of the Druid runes. You know, nothing standing out as like, oh man, this is sick.
Yeah, not yet. Do you want to do chests next?
Chest? Yeah, let's do it. We got Cobra. Oh, these Hunter tooltips are so small. Like,
it's because they don't do anything.
Yeah. All right, we've got Cobra Strikes. Your critical hits with shot abilities cause your pet's next 2 special attacks to critically hit, which everybody's going to be trying to get rid of their pet. So, does this have any value? Any uses for Cobra Strikes?
Well, I mean, there'll be people that don't want to get rid of their pet. You can't say that everyone's like me. You know, I don't like having a pet, but there's a lot of people that love having pets. There's a lot of people that wish they could play BM in Wrath. You know, there are people that like it, but yeah, me, no thanks. Yeah. I don't even care where that rune came from. Do you know what? If all I had to do was go to the mailbox and that rune was in there, I wouldn't take it.
We've got Expose Weakness. Your ranged criticals increase your attack power by 40% of your current agility for 7 seconds.
Again, it's that's actually a survival talent. Survival talent in future expansions. It's a shame that it wasn't the TBC version. I don't know if any of you remember. I know Stark will, but the TBC version of Exposed Weakness was very, very good. And it used to be great having, you had your 1 survival hunter stacked massively with agility. And that was it. That was their job. Their job weren't to get their tier. Their job was to stack as much agility as physically possible. I'm kind of sad that they've gone down the future expansion, like Wrath Onward version of Exposed Weakness, where it's actually, I'm not going to say piss poor, but it does nothing for anyone else. Like, the TBC Exposed was fucking mint, like, really good. So I think that was a missed opportunity, if I'm honest. I think that was a missed opportunity.
Well, now we've got the one that you haven't shut up about. We've got Lone Wolf.
Yay!
Yeah! You deal 25% increased damage with all attacks while you do not have an active pet.
The only rune that would make me play a hunter in Season of Discovery. Honestly. Like, I'm not even joking. All of the other ones, in my opinion, dog shit. Do I want to be a melee hunter? No, I've done that in retail, and it was shit. Like, when I say shit, it don't feel right. Like, I want to be at ranged as a hunter. I want to be like Oliver Queen. Sorry, that's spoilers. I mean the arrow. I didn't mean to give away his identity on stream. Man, I'm going to get cancelled. This is ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Lone Wolf, amazing. Literally, looking at all of these, I couldn't give 2 shits about any of them. All I want is Lone Wolf, and that is enough to make me get a hunter to 25. Whether I ever get it to 40 or not, that's a different thing. But
yeah, because I mean, the other stuff I hated about pets in Classic was you had to feed them to keep them happy. You had to go and find certain ones, and there was the one in, what is it, Duskwood, that was super strong, or whatever that area,
the wolf
east of Westfall.
Yeah.
Like, everybody camped that spawn point for that one.
It just had a higher
going to get that.
It had a quicker attack speed, didn't it? That was why everyone wanted it, I believe.
Yeah, so like no more having to go out and try to tame 10,000 pets. If you don't want to. If you want to, yeah, go for it. And then we've got Master Marksman, increases your critical strike chance by 5% and reduces the mana cost of all your shot abilities by 25%. And I do kind of remember Hunters having some mana issues back then.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like... Normally, I shit on warriors and rogues, all right? That's what I do. That's what I'm renowned for. That's, I always take the piss out of warriors and rogues. Never hunters. It's never been hunters. But that's a shit rune, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty boring, let's be honest. You know, if even when you find that, let's say you had to do some really difficult jump puzzle and you could see a chest at the top and you was like, I've got to get it. This is going to be Lone Wolf. And it turned out to be Master Marksman. I'd literally delete my character.
Oh, yeah, that jeez. People are going to be raging in the general chat. They're going to be like, don't look for this rune. It's shit. Like, don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to use it, are you? Like, let's be honest, out of like the runes that we've just looked at, if you've got a pet, possibly Cobra Strikes. If you've not got a pet, I'd probably, if you've not got a pet, definitely Lone Wolf or Expose Weakness. I mean, Master Marksman, 5% crit and reducing mana cost. I mean, yeah, Hunters are they're not looking in the best place so far. We'll see. They're going to get better, though, because the leg ones are going to be mind-blowing. Oh, no, they're just single-line abilities as well. Hang on.
Yeah, perfect.
Go for it.
We've got Flanking Strike. You and your pet deal simultaneous, instant 100% melee damage. Afterward, your Mongoose Bite and Raptor Strike deal 10% increased damage for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Raptor Strike has a 20% chance to reset the CD on Flanking Strike.
All right, I'm not going to lie. That's pretty cool.
I don't even know what it is.
If you want it, you got to be a melee hunter to use it, obviously. But if you want to be a melee hunter, then all right, cool.
Like, what's your Mongoose Bite?
Mongoose Bite is like just an instant like weapon attack. I think it's active after a parry or a dodge. It might be either of them.
So, melee hunter wants to be in front of the boss?
Well, no, because this is afterwards. Your Mongoose and Raptor Strike deal 10% increased damage. Yeah, Raptor Strike's just a normal one, isn't it? Mongoose is a warrior's revenge. Yeah, so it's after a dodge. I thought it was after a dodge or a parry, but yeah, you're not going to get to use it a lot in a raid. I mean, I don't know, unless it's getting changed.
It got me thinking though. All of melee usually stack behind the boss. It'd be cool to have a melee that needed to be in front of the boss for some reason.
I mean, it'd annoy tanks. But yeah, PvP. Yeah, all right. Yeah, PvP. Agree, Andrew. I can't think of a lot of good uses for it. I mean, it sounds fun, like having a melee hunter in vanilla, but in actual being realistic and talking about end game content, no, I'd say no.
Yeah.
Next.
Maybe at level 40 if something changes.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like because Raptor Strike you can use all the time. It's only Mongoose Bite that is an active ability. So unless there's a later rune that makes Mongoose Bite, I mean, what Flanking Strike should do is allows the use of Mongoose Bite. So you Flanking Strike, and that allows the use of Mongoose Bite, which then deals 10% increased damage for 10 seconds. Whether that is actually what happens with it, I don't know. But that's what, in my opinion, what the ability should, it should do.
Yeah. All right, next we've got Kill Command. Give the command to kill, increasing your pet's damage done from special attacks by 60% for 30 seconds.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Let's just go back to what Stark said, because, we've got it wrong. In Classic, Mongoose is specifically after you dodge. Yeah, so it's when you dodge. So flanking.
That's what I was saying, like standing in front of the boss. Yeah.
No, but you need to dodge.
That's what it sounds.
Yeah, so you need something to hit you.
Yeah. You stand in front of the boss cleaves, you dodge it.
Oh yeah, that sounds like that's perfect peak gameplay.
You've got agility, so you've got increased dodge chance. Yeah, so hunters obviously stand in front of the boss.
Flanking Strike would need to make Mongoose Bite usable after Flanking Strike's being used, and then Raptor Strike has got a chance to reset it. There's no two ways about it. I would say that tooltip might even be wrong, and that's what it does. It makes sense.
Yeah. All right, we got Kill Command. Give the command to kill, increasing your pet's damage done from special attacks by 60% for 30 seconds. Each special attack done by the pet reduces the damage bonus by 20%.
Really cool.
Is that like a what's it called? Not a burn phase, but an execute phase thing? Or you use that throughout the whole fight?
Well, it's for 30 seconds, so I'm guessing it's probably got a 30-second cooldown, might have a minute cooldown, something like that, but it's just something you just press and forget about. Like, I mean, most people just macro kill command into basically everything. No, like, I'm not wrong in saying that, am I, Stark? You just pretty much use kill command on cooldown and just whatever. It's not like an exciting button to press.
All right, well, we've got Serpent Spread. This is going to be way better than Kill Command. Targets hit by your multi-shot are also affected by your Serpent Sting for 6 seconds.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. Again, it's a Wrath talent. Yeah, it's a Wrath talent.
Does Hunter have multi-shot at 25?
Oh, that's a really good question. Let's have a look. I don't know what level they get it. I'd imagine they get it fairly early, maybe 20, something like that. Multi-shot.
Right, yeah, 18. They get it at 18.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 18. Yeah, I can see that now. Yeah, okay, so that's not bad.
Okay.
And that's good. Like, that's a cool ability. You know, I like that personally as a talent. It's not massively exciting, again, you know, if we're being completely honest, especially if Serpent Sting's going to hit like a wet noodle and it's not actually going to do that much damage. But it's still nice.
So what, you Serpent Sting one target and then you multi-shot?
No, you just press multi-shot.
Right?
Literally, you just press multi-shot and it will put Serpent Sting on everything, and then you could follow up with a Chimera shot on the one that you're hitting, and it will refresh Serpent Sting back to full normal duration. You know, it synergizes well with other abilities and gives you a bit of cleave, but you know, how much is Serpent Sting going to be doing? That's what it comes down to, really.
I'm just thinking of crowd controls. If we actually need to crowd control mobs, then having it break from multi-shot was always one thing, but then now it's going to apply a Serpent Sting to everything that it breaks. You're like, yikes.
I think you're pissing into the wind, mate, if you think there's going to be any CC when we've got Shamans using Molten Blast, Paladins using Divine Storm, Hunters multi-shot into Spread Stings. I don't think you're going to see a great deal of CC.
I'd like to see some, though. I kind of miss that about Classic. I as a mage, I used to kind of like sheeping something and it mattering. It's like you would, before a pull in a dungeon even, you'd be like, all right, we got to sheep one, sap one, nuke one. I kind of miss that. But yeah, we've gotten to the point where we just cleave everything down.
Yeah, I mean, what Iron Lion said, just to address it, like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You know, the fact that you're going to have Beast Mastery increasing your pet's damage, Kill Command increasing your pet's damage, and all that. Like, I don't doubt that the pets are not going to slap. Like, I'm sure they will. It's just unfortunately you're listening to a guy who fucking hates pets and finds this very boring. You know, I'm just being honest. You know, I don't like pets. It might, you know, it probably will be fun to see your pets absolutely slap him. But like, I don't like pets.
Yeah, I was a mage, gracious. Surprise. We've got Sniper Training as our last rune to talk about for Hunter. Your shot abilities gain 30% increased critical strike chance while you have not moved for the last 6 seconds.
Yeah, I like Sniper Training. I've always liked Sniper Training. And this is a better version of Sniper Training than what we've actually got in RAF at the moment, because RAF's only like 6%. So 30% increased critical strike chance. That, I mean, that's
so
huge.
Much, dude.
That's huge.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
And you're just going to have hunters dying all over the place because they don't want to move. They'll be like, I ain't moving out of this.
Well, I'm just thinking at that first boss and the second boss and the third boss in BRD, it's hard to stay planted. Like, there's a lot of movement on those. You're getting knocked off the ledge for the first boss. There's the water globules on the second boss that you have to dodge, or if you don't dodge, they knock you back. The third one, you have to watch out for the ice on the ground. So, I mean, if there's a tank and spank boss, then it's going to be huge.
So what you'll be doing is you'll be going down in Marksman to get Hawkeye, so you get the extra 6 yards on range weapons, and you'll just stand miles away from everybody else and never move. See, they added in, I can't remember whether it was MOP or WOD, I feel like it was WOD, they added like Master Marksman, where actually the longer you stood still and that benefit ramps up. That would have been interesting. And I think that was called Master Marksman, if I remember rightly, which is this one here. It was something along those lines. I'd need to look at the future talent calculators, but it's neither in or there for Season of Discovery anyway. But I think that's I'm not going to say that they're not interesting. You know, like Sniper Train, I think that's interesting. 30% crit, that's massive, you know, for a rune. And it just means you need to stand still. Chimera Shot is all right. You know, Exposed Weakness, I'd say wrong version of it. You know, some of them are all right, but there's nothing there that has actually made me go, wow, I'm going to level a Hunter. Let's go.
Yeah, me neither. But depending on how much time, I might dabble in that one, depending on if it's easy enough to get that lone wolf rune and you get it early enough in the leveling. If it's a level 25 rune or something and it's the last thing that you're getting, then
Yeah.
I don't want to level 225 with a pet.
No, me neither. What class are we doing next? In chat, tell us what class you want to see next. So we've done Druid, we've done Shaman, we've done Mage, we've done Hunter. Is that all we've done? Is 4?
Yep.
These are taking a long time to get through.
Yeah, that was an hour, an hour for the last 2. So yeah, about 30 minutes on each one.
Oh. Maybe we will need a part 3.
Yeah, because it's already within an hour of raid time, so.
I'm enjoying this anyway. I don't mind doing a part 3.
Yeah.
Rogue,
Season
Warlock,
1,
Warrior.
Or Season 2, Episode 1, Part 3. Yeah.
Paladin. We'll leave Paladin till last, because that will take about 3 hours. I just want to know if Mutilate's going to kill Backstab build.
I'd like to look at Rogue.
You want to look at Rogue?
Rogue can tank now too. It's changed up a bit.
Wow, and that's a lot of long abilities for you to read.
Oh, we're not switching now.
No, not now. I've seen how big those abilities are to read. There's no way we're switching.
Oh, and there's 5. Jesus. I mean, and you get to listen to me pronounce all of these fun words.
Yeah,
like
let's do it.
Gaucher.
Gaucher?
Main Gaucher.
Right, all right, let's do it. Rogue gloves. I'm gonna get a beer while you're reading for 20 minutes.
All right, we've got main Gaucher. Instantly strike you with your offhand weapon for normal offhand weapon damage and increase your chance to parry by 10% for 10 seconds. Main Gaucher benefits from all talents and effects that trigger or modify Sinister Strike.
All right.
I don't really know that much of Rogue. Is that supposed to be the new tank one?
Until we get
your chance to parry.
Yeah, you're gonna get 10% parry. I mean, until we get to the other ones, yeah, you could use that as the tank rogue. I've not looked at tank rogue at all. I know none of these. This is fresh for me completely. So, yeah, you could use it as a tank. You could use it while you're leveling, getting that 10% parry chance. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, it's a bit like, no, it weren't called main gooch. It was something else. It weren't counter attack, was it? There was an ability like it anyway, but I can't think what it was called. But we'll say that that's the main. Okay, so Voice is saying the new tank build is parry based. All right, that makes sense.
Okay.
Parry into riposte.
Yeah, cool.
Riposte is what I was thinking of, Cal. Riposte is the ability where you need to parry to be able to use it. That's the exact ability I was thinking of. Shiv. All right, Shiv.
Oh, all the way down to the bottom for Shiv.
Oh, wherever you want to go. Wherever you want to go. It's just what I've got on screen.
Yeah, no, I can do Shiv next. Instantly attack with your offhand weapon to deal normal offhand weapon damage with a 100% chance to apply the poison from your offhand weapon to the target. Slower weapons require more energy. Awards 1 combo point. Shiv benefits from all talents and effects that trigger from or modify Sinister Strike. And I kind of remember Shiv as a rogue. I've dabbled in a rogue a little tiny bit, and yeah, that was just to make sure that you had that guaranteed poison application.
Yeah, so you'd Shiv with anesthetic poison or something like that to guarantee, an enraged dispel or, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, Shiv is nothing new, nothing too exciting.
I remember, PvP too, just to make sure you had mind-numbing poison or the healing debuff, on your PvP target.
Yeah, I think until we start seeing what some of the others do, what you're going to use these for will become a bit clearer.
Yeah. All right. We got Mutilate. Instantly attacks with both weapons for 100% weapon damage plus an additional 20 with each weapon. Damage is increased by 20% against poisoned targets. Awards 2 combo points. Mutilate benefits from all talents and effects that trigger from or modify backstab unless otherwise specified.
Yeah, so basic sort of assassination ability. It's interesting that they have gone for like the Wrath onwards Mutilate, because Mutilate used to actually have a positioning requirement when it was first introduced, where you'd need to be behind a target. But yeah, the Mutilate fairly standard. You all know what Mutilate is.
A fun burst ability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've got Saber Slash. Viciously slash an enemy for 130% weapon damage and cause the target to bleed for 11 damage every 2 seconds for 12 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Awards 1 combo point. Saber Slash benefits from all talents and effects that trigger from or modify Sinister Strike. So do they want you to use Sinister Strike? Are all these replacing Sinister Strike, or are these like fillers?
This would. Yeah, I mean, Mutilate would replace Sinister Strike, so would Saber Slash. Main Gooch probably wouldn't. Because that is only offhand for normal offhand weapon damage. You'd use that like to keep the buff up. You'd use it just like every 10 seconds to keep the 10% parry. But yeah, Saber Slash would.
All right, and then the last one I know is like, it sounds subtlety-esque. Shadow Strike. Teleport behind your target and strike, causing 150% weapon damage to the target. Must be stealth. Oh, must be stealth. Never mind. I was thinking of like Shadow Step. I don't know if Shadow Step is in Classic or if that was TBC or Wrath, but man, must be stealth. So this is just your opener?
It is pretty much an opener, yeah. Or then when you vanish and use it again, yeah. It's a good PvP ability, I suppose, but even then, most of the time you're going to want to be, cheap shotting. You're going to want to be locking people down, aren't you? Not just getting a quick burst of damage.
And you've got ambush anyways, don't you?
Yeah, you have ambush, but it don't teleport you. So
yeah.
It is a replacement of ambush.
A different energy cost maybe with those two as well. So
yeah. I mean, they're oh yeah, we've done Mutilate, haven't we? I mean, they're all interesting. I mean, Mutilate is gonna replace backstab. It's gonna be very assassination-esque because it does do both weapons. Increased by poison, so you're gonna keep obviously deadly on. Saber Slash. I mean, that's just an alternative, like probably style of play for combat. Shadow Strike is more for sub, maybe PvP. And then, main Gorch is the actual, like, tanking one. Don't laugh. Do chest ones next, because I think these might then make it a bit more obvious which ones you would use on the gloves.
All right. We've got Deadly Brew. When you inflict any other poison on a target, you also inflict deadly poison.
Okay.
Is that, like, deadly poison is your poison
That's your
enchant
dot.
on your...
deadly poison is your dot. It's the stacking dot 5 times.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could literally go double, double instant poison, for example, and still be stacking. Like Deadly Brew would go really well with Mutilate. And obviously, and Envenom as well. When we actually get to Envenom, you'll just be stacking up you'll be benefiting from having 2 lots of instant poison while actually stacking up deadly poison still anyway. So it's not a bad one.
Mm-hmm. And this is a paragraph, so I'm assuming it's the tank one. Just a flesh wound. You take 20% reduced physical damage while Blade Dance is active. Additionally, you have 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks, so crit immune. The threat generated by all your actions is massively increased. Hey, threat. It's starting to look like a tank ability here.
A little bit.
And your feint abilities is replaced with Tease, which taunts the target to attack you. Tease taunts the target to attack you, but has no effect if the target is already attacking you.
I don't know why it sounded so funny when you kept saying, tease.
Tease.
I just wanted to say, what? Tease nuts? But I was like, how old are you, Scott? Don't do that. That's what your 10-year-old says.
I really hope when you use this, your character goes like, it does a funny like hand gesture or something. Or like, does the Fortnite RP dance or something like?
I was about to say we're not playing Fortnite, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a flesh wound, just for clarity, like before we actually get onto the legs, you have to use them blade dance on your legs for just a flesh wound to be worthwhile, which I don't know, I kind of don't like that. You know, that you have to use 2 rune slots minimum to be able to tank.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't know. I feel like having just a flesh wound, yeah, like you're never going to use, like that's basically it. If you're a tank, you have to use blade dance. You have to use just a flesh wound. There's no two ways about it. You can't use one without the other. That sort of removes a bit of customization, in my opinion. So the first thing so far for Rogue that I've not actually liked too much. Deadly Brew is also for PvP, as you lose damage when you have mind numbing and slowing poison on both weapons. Oh yeah, Andrew, yeah, definitely. I don't play a Rogue a lot, mate, so I'll be honest, like, me and Go are probably pissing against the wind a little bit here. I've raided, don't get me wrong, I've raided all our TOGC, like everything in RAF and TBC, but we're talking, you know, I would raid for a couple of weeks as a Rogue and then not play it for months, so...
I would actually turn on the in-game sounds if when you popped just a flesh wound, your rogue character would be like, your mother's a hamster and your father's an elderberry, or whatever the quote is from Holy Grail.
I'd just make a weak aura, so every time I use tease, it goes, cunt.
I fought in your general direction.
Just a flesh wound is Monty Python. Yeah. It's the scene, where he's being like all chopped up. And he's got no arms, and he's like, it's just a flesh wound. Right, quick draw.
Quick draw. Draw your ranged weapon and fire a quick shot at an enemy, causing normal ranged weapon damage and reducing the target's movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. Awards 1 combo point. Quick draw benefits from all talents and effects that trigger from or modify Sinister Strike.
Yeah, so it's very... It is very retail sort of where you got roll the bones and that as a rogue. What was that spec called?
In current retail?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still in current retail. I've not played a rogue in Dragonflight, but yeah, it was outlaw. Thanks, table. Yeah, outlaw. So it's very outlaw-esque, and I'm pretty sure that was the exact ability in outlaw.
Quick draw sounds very PvP.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's actually usable in melee and range, though. So could be interesting if they get runes like in future slots that cause quick draw to be energy free and stuff like that, because that's our retail outlaw played. You would get procs where, you know, quick draw was it costs no energy and stuff like that. So they could be setting that up for the future.
Oh yeah, okay.
This is a gap closer and works with Between the Eyes. Yeah, okay, yeah, so we've not got to Between the Eyes yet. But it is very outlaw, giving rogues some ranged abilities to be able to not get kited so bad.
Oh, yeah. And then we've got Slaughter from the Shadows. Reduces the energy cost of your backstab and ambush abilities by 20. Does not apply to mutilate. And I know backstab and ambush are like, 60 energy? Like, backstab might be 40 because you're already in combat, but I know ambush had a lot of energy cost. Yeah,
so backstab is like 60. As basic, it's 60. I'm sure it was 60, but I don't know if you... Let me just stick some points in to actually see backstab. Yeah, 60 energy. I feel like there is somewhere where you actually reduce the energy cost down to like 48 or something, or is it not? Is it always 60? No, it might just be improved.
Be in assassination somewhere, but
yeah, it might. There might not be a way to actually reduce it in vanilla.
Or subtlety. Improved ambush increases your critical strike. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nowhere to reduce
the energy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that bringing it down to 40. Yeah, I probably am thinking of improved shred, taking it down to 42 table. Yeah, there's all right. So there's not. So taking it down to 40. It's still obviously expensive, but would you use it over anything else? I mean, it could potentially be very good, to be fair. Yeah, if you was using a backstab build and looking at the other ones, going from a purely PvE perspective, it's going to be Deadly Brew or Slaughter from the Shadows, isn't it? It's one or the other. If you're talking that you're like a dagger rogue going with a backstab build, your options are fairly limited.
Maybe, I know tier sets later on gave rogues extra energy, so once you have more energy, Slaughter from the Shadows could be used differently, because it's not going to take 40% of your energy bar. It'll take 33%, so then you could use other abilities in your openers combined with that. So 25, not as good as it could be, I think, at level 60.
Yeah. It allowed combat rogues to use Rupture. Yeah. Combat daggers. Yeah, I mean, I see it being used. I mean, if there's any main rogues in chat, out of those chests, if we're just talking purely DPS in a PvE environment, which of the 4 chest runes would you use? Deadly Brew, just a flesh wound you obviously wouldn't use, but you'd have Quick Draw as an option, which, let's be honest, you're probably not going to use that. So it really is between Deadly Brew and Slaughter from the Shadows. I think Slaughter from the Shadows would probably win out and you just run instant and deadly, right? That just looking at it from without actually testing or being able to play it, that's probably what I would do just on the face of it.
Yeah, so Rogue seems interesting. But, yeah, tank, you're pretty locked into what you're going to get.
Yeah, for tank, yeah, that's what sucks. If you're a tank, you've got no options here. You've got to use just a flesh wound. You've got to use Blade Dance. You've got to use main Goucher.
Goucher? Bobby Goucher.
Andrew saying Slaughter from the Shadows. So, yeah, I think it's probably... I reckon it'd end up being fairly unanimous that the majority of people would be going for Slaughter from the Shadows and going daggers. Okay.
I was thinking that some rogues wanted to start combat out of stealth for some reason. I don't remember why. Maybe that was only a TBC thing, or maybe I don't know. So being in stealth to ambush. I mean, yeah, okay, it's gonna do your backstab too, which you don't need to be in stealth for. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, legs, and we'll probably get another class in, you know.
I thought we were done. Oh my god, legs! I have to scroll. There's so much. I'm not doing all the
legs
the
are big.
Point.
No, don't worry about the 1 to 5 points.
Yeah. 0.1 gives 27 to no. We got Between the Eyes, ranged finishing move that causes damage per combo point, increased by attack power and stuns the target. So 1 point, 1 second stun, 2.2 second, up to 5.
Yep. So PvP, definitely. No two ways about it. There would be very, very few scenarios where you would use that in PvE.
And then this one, I'm reading ahead a little bit. Looks like the tank one. We've got Blade Dance, finishing move that increases your parry chance, lasts longer and grants more parry chance per combo point. So 1 point is 6% parry, and you get 1 additional parry percentage per point that you have, and it increases the duration by 4 seconds, starting with 14 seconds going to 30 at 5 points.
That's some serious effort you're putting in there.
Did I summarize that okay on the spot there? I don't know. Did I make it confusing?
No, it was just a huge amount of effort that you put in, and I think everyone respects you for it. But yeah, okay. Blade Dance you need to keep up to be able to get a benefit from just a flesh wound. So, while what was it? How did it actually read? Tease. Yeah, so you get teased, don't you, when you've got it up. But just a flesh wound you benefit from. Oh no, you take 20% reduced damage while Blade Dance is active. So yeah, you actually need Blade Dance active to even get that 20% reduced physical damage, which that's going to suck on the pool.
You'd have to stack 5 points off of dig rats that you brought to the raid,
yeah.
And then you'd start with 10% parry for 30 seconds with Blade Dance up.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to be trying to get a point up very quick, aren't you? But it is only going to be the second global. You'd be going main Gorch straight into getting your Blade Dance up. Then you've got the benefit of just a flesh wound, and now it's just keeping it rotating. You'll be obviously putting slice and dice up and everything else in between as well. There was a threat increase as well, wasn't there? Where was the threat increase? Because
that should have been on that tease one, right? It was on. Crap! I hit the thing. Just a flesh wound. You take
threat generated.
20% reduced. Yeah. The
Yeah,
threat
it just says
generated by
massively.
All your actions is massively increased.
Yeah. Okay, that's
they
fine.
just did actions. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So, okay, that's like, yeah. I say it's cool. It's like Blade Dance. If you want to be a rogue tank, you have to use it. If you want to be a rogue tank, you have to use just a flesh wound, and you have to use main Gorch or Gouch or whatever it's called. You know, there's no two ways about it. And rogue would be, like you say, Lee, a very powerful off tank in terms of being able to get all your stuff stacked up before you taunt. Or possibly having pre-med if you was going in sub. There is that as well.
You need level 40 for that. It's the last thing in the sub tree.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people used to pre-med.
And then finally Envenom.
Envenom, finishing move that deals instant poison damage based on your deadly poison doses on the target. Following the Envenom attack, you have a 75% increased frequency of applying instant poison for 1 second, plus an additional 1 second per combo point. 1 dose is activated per combo point. So
I've got nothing to say.
PvE, you're choosing Envenom. Yeah.
Yeah. There's, if you're going DPS in PvE, you'll be choosing Envenom. There is nothing, no other option.
This one only has 3 options to choose from, where the other ones had 4 or 5.
You've got PvP, you've got tank, or you've got PvE, PvP, or tank. But don't get me wrong. Between the Eyes might have some use on certain bosses, but that's it, really. Yeah.
I wonder if the stun from Between the Eyes shares DR with Kidney Shot. I assume it does because it's a stun, but that'd be a pretty crazy stun lock to 5-second stun, 5 combo point. If you could somehow get 5 combo points in that 5-second stun to then Kidney Shot, that'd be
what Lee's saying. It's a range Kidney Shot, basically. Yeah.
So it does share the cooldown though, or
DR? I mean DR wise, I would imagine so, but in terms of actual cooldown on it, I don't know.
Oh, it'll share the cooldown with Kidney?
I would have thought so. Personally, I would have thought it'd share the cooldown, but it doesn't specify that on the tooltip. But
DR,
I would assume it does.
CD.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking then, you've got to get back up to, even if it didn't, you've then got to get up to five combo points again really quickly to then Kidney, so it's kind of...
Well, you get some, you Sinister Strike, whatever, and then you Gouge. That's going to give you a combo point. And regen your energy to pop something else. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but like what Beefy said, I think Rogue Tank, it's going to definitely get stronger. It looks like it could be fun. Yeah, interesting to play. I think Rogue was certainly more interesting than Hunter anyway. Right.
I don't know if I ran with a Rogue tank or not.
Do we? I mean, raid invites for us are going to be going out very soon. So do we try and knock one more class out, or do we come back tomorrow again?
We can come back. We've got 4 left, right? We've got Warrior, Warlock, Priest, and Paladin.
Well,
so
I think tomorrow we cut all the shit out at the start. Obviously we spent a good 30-40 minutes talking about other things and going over the interview notes. If we cut that out, then tomorrow we'll definitely just be able to finish the classes off. And we've done 3 podcast episodes in 3 days.
We had the other podcast going on tomorrow. If we wanted to hold out, take a break from ours
joining
and come
it.
back.
I don't know if you're going on it. I'm not. He wanted me on tonight.
It's tonight too. Jeez.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to go on that, we can pick this up on Thursday. If you're.
Well, Thursday I work, so it'd be Friday. I'm off work Friday. It's a holiday. So
okay, we can pick this up on Friday if you want.
Yeah, cool.
All right, we'll do part 3 on Friday, which will cover the rest of the runes, and we'll have a little discussion about that. And then hopefully next week we can just get into doing like one podcast a week. That would be great instead of 3 in a week. But I have a feeling these are going to be probably pretty sporadic, aren't they? As different news comes out, and
we have time and stuff. Yeah,
we'll just be smashing these out because this is fun. Like this is like we done 12, 13 episodes in the first season of Cubicle Chat podcast, and it was fun. We had fun. It was good. But like this, I don't even know where the time's going. Like 2.5 hours, and I feel like I've been sat here 20 minutes.
It really does feel like it's been an hour podcast.
yeah, it really does. So everyone, obviously, thank you for watching. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for anyone who became members. There definitely was at least one. So, as I say, if you want more content than what you're actually getting, members only content is literally starting tomorrow, and Go will probably be involved in quite a lot of it as well. I'd say because a lot of it's going to be quite unedited. It's not going to be like the proper YouTube videos. It's going to be me talking about best in slot gear for each class, speculating where runes are going to come from. You know, things that I wouldn't put out as an actual video. They're going to be things that like community, just small community, like all the joiners on YouTube, and we can talk shit in the comments and speculate and stuff. That's what I want to use members only videos for. Because it might not look like it, but a lot of effort goes into editing videos, as Go knows himself. And I can't be doing lots of videos a week, you know. Whereas at least if I just turn the camera on and we're looking at things, we're talking, it's fairly like not polished, then I'll be able to definitely get a few of those out a week for people who do support the channel. So, Go, anything to say? Obviously, people could join your YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, I don't have any member-only stuff other than emotes, emojis, whatever they're called. So if you're a member on my channel, then you can hang out in the live streams while I'm raiding, while we're going through this season of Discovery when it launches, and have some fun emotes. You got the member badges. I've got the like Druid stuff, like Fairy Fire, I think is your 1 month member badge. So yeah, it gets better and better as you go through.
He's selling it with emotes, I'm selling it with content.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
The live stream. I said the live stream. That's my content, is the live streams.
Oh, that's true. I don't live stream on YouTube outside of the podcast, so he's got a point. Go and subscribe to Go. I'll put it in the description. I also need to put his channel in the description from yesterday's. Actually, I think it's there.
It's there.
I think it is there. Okay.
I verified it. I was like, this guy better have put it in the description.
Okay, so if you want to find Go, obviously, link in the description to Go's channel. Go and join this channel, join his channel. Couple of dollars a month. You know, it's nothing for the extra content that you're going to get.
You might have inspired me to do the same thing. Maybe I get some extra stuff going. I don't know.
You should, yeah, but just like do it unedited. It's not polished. People know that they're joining. They're not going to get a 30-minute, edited video. It's just you're just going to be shooting the shit, talking about stuff. Bit of theory crafting.
Yeah.
And then it's not out there in public.
I love theory crafting.
Well, what I want people that join the channel to actually put input onto those videos. Like, that's my big goal, is to get enough of us where we are using it as a way for me to communicate with the people that help support the channel in quite a personal way. You know, where it's not edited. We're looking at certain things, especially in Season of Discovery, when there's going to be so much to look at. So that's the plan, whether it pays off or not. We've got fucking hundreds of people that have already joined the channel anyway, so we've got quite a big community to start with instantly. So it's going to be fun. Boom.
Yep.
Right, thank you, and we'll see you on Friday.
Done. Yep, see ya.
Peace out. Kind of. They can hear me while it's on the ending screen, but I didn't want to end it prematurely. Yeah, because if I end it, sometimes it cuts off about 20 seconds before we've actually said bye. So I'll just leave it on the ending screen while I'm talking. And I'm going to fire up the... actually, for anyone who is still listening, though, I am going to fire the stream up on Kick now. And we're going to go and have a little ICC 25 heroic. So...